I'm wondering what the team is feeling like, what is going on through their minds. And it's actually answered in a press con prior to this matchup last week. Is Coach Bon at a press con? That's right. Coach Bon Chan, the World Championship coach, the multi-time MPL Championship coach, actually answered that question. Is how are you answering this now? How are you dealing with this as a team? And he said something to the effect of, you'll hear it very soon, is if we think about that, if we let that bother us, then all the more it's going to bog us down.
I think that's the way you handle it. You know, when you're in these situations, when it's down to the wire, basically, last week of the season, you have to just think of it as another match, another day, if you will, because if you let the pressure get to you, build up, obviously it's going to have an effect on the team here, right? So I think as the coach, that's the best way to set the mood for the what's at hand here for the players.
Yeah. If it's an exam day for a student, just another day in school. If it's another day at work, just another day at work.
I did tell you guys you're going to hear from Coach Bon Chan himself, so check out this clip.
Anyone can answer. So nakita nyo kanina yung laging laro ng Omega, tapos tatalo nila AP Bren. Nakadagdag pressure ba sa team yung pagkapanalo ng Omega? Dahil nga medyo malakas yung tinalo nila and sila yung naghahabol sa inyo ngayon sa standings.
Para sa amin, hindi namin tinitingnan yung mga condition na yan. Panalo man siguro matalo, parang hindi namin talaga tinitignan. Gago na yung mga analysis na dapat matalo si Gantor, makakuha ng 1 point, or etc. etc. Hindi talaga namin tinitingnan yung mga condition na yan. Basta importante lang sa amin, maipanalo namin yung mga remaining games namin. Kasi kung palagi lang namin titingnan yung mga conditions na sana matalo yung ganto, sana manalo yung ganto, parang nilalagay na lang namin yung kapalaran namin sa kamay ng iba sa halip na gumawa kami ng paraan, di ba? So, yun na lang yung nasa mindset namin, ipanalo na lang yung mga remaining games.
And that's exactly why Blacklist is who Blacklist is. They did not win these multiple championships all over the world because they worried about what everyone else thought, what they had to prove to other people. It's just the task at hand. We got to win right here, right now. And amidst all of those that happened in Season 13, admittedly, as an agent, as a fan of the league, it wasn't easy for Blacks International, especially walking in this matchup wherein they are facing off against the M4 World Champions. The first time that they met in Season 13, though,
hello guys.
The main five, as you would call it, from the Orcas, it was outplayed and Zydo played.
Yeah, I think, again, when they were going through some of these switches from Echo, it was nice to see, because I remember us sharing on the desk that, hey, you know what, whether they switched in Zyda and outplayed with, of course, Benny or karltzy, they looked good, right? But now that's what I'm saying, and I think a lot of people are wondering too, like, what is
or Echo
best form, at least now, of Season 13 from Echo?
Well, they've been consistently playing karltzy and Benny QT since around week 5, so I'm pretty sure that Echo have already found that consistency and have found their groove. If it is championship level Echo, well, that takes time to see, and if you want to set yourself up for success already in the playoffs, you got to do it as early as now. If you're Echo, you're already constantly fielding karltzy, Benny QT, again, the quote-unquote main 5. Just do what you've already done to Blacklist earlier in the season again.
Yeah, if there's anything that Blacklist has over Echo walking in this matchup, is Blacklist holds the fastest record for any game in Season 13 just yet. 10:24 is the magic number.
Wow.
And
Hello,
Echo has been
Zooey.
redefining speed in the
Hello,
past
Zooey.
couple of weeks here all season long. So maybe that's
What
something
up?
that powers Echo walking in this matchup besides
you hear me?
Blacklist trying to make it into the playoffs.
Can you hear me, guys?
There is something that we have going on YouTube for all of you viewers online.
Yep, to power you guys up as well, you can let us know who you think is going to win this awesome match ahead of us. Is it going to be Blacklist International, or is it going to be Echo? You can use the hashtags there and get a chance
What
to
team you
win
rooting
the
for,
1 of
bro?
4 winners of 1,000
Blacklist or
diamonds.
Echo?
It's 1,000 diamonds.
By the way, guys,
Speaking
if
of, we're about to get this matchup on
if I'm
the
sa-
road.
if
Let's
by
first
me,
welcome our marshals, making sure
speaking,
everything is fine
or
and
talking
dandy.
in
Get into the land of
in,
dawn. Let's welcome
Pinoy
Chico,
language or
Jeff,
Tagalog.
Patrick, and Wilbert.
Don't worry,
By the
I
way,
will
just bought a
answer all
condo
your
in downtown
questions.
Manila.
All of
Happy
your
for you, buddy.
questions in English.
Coming up in
If you want
life,
me
let's welcome
to
our team,
speak in
Blacklist and Echo.
But I'll do the commentary on the stream in Tagalog lang. Is that okay?
One game, 1 point is all they need. Their first obstacle this week, their loud and proud rivals. Can they break down
So
the Echo Express
Blacklist,
to ride into the
Blacklist
playoffs?
needs,
Truly
or
top
just need
tier.
to score,
It's
like
Blacklist
just win one game,
National!
and then they can go to the playoffs. But Omega will make sure that Blacklist will fall. Because they know the potential of Blacklist. Omega!
The Orcas find themselves amidst a war in the mountaintop. If they want to avoid the play-ins round, they need all the 3-point wins they can get. And for you to get loud and proud for Echo! And their coaches, Coach Bonchan and Coach Tic Tac. MPL Arena, make some noise for the Codebreakers and the Orcas!
They got one chance here today to make it in the playoffs, and we're talking about Blacklist International. This main five has gone through thick and thin, through the fire to make it here tonight.
Yep, 1 point is all they need. Take it one game at a time here. And this is the thing we have to really look at is where is that stardom, that power going to come from that lineup? Because against them, obviously, is the lineup, the power lineup from Echo.
Yeah, there's a lot of stars there, but I want to put a little bit of focus onto Sanji. He's had 6 MVP performances for the Orcas this season. Up next after him would be karltzy. So the mid-rotation really dictates the tempo for Echo, and Blacklist needs to match that.
The young goat and the goat in the making, the mid-lane genius. Looking at the stats for Echo and Blacklist right now. Again, this is odd to say, but Blacklist have great stats for a team that's actually struggling all season long.
Yeah, it's crazy when you break it down, really, because I think a lot of people that have just been kind of either passively watching or they've been dedicated in watching Blacklist games, they'll say, man, what's kind of gone on through their season 13 run? But so far, they've been able to calculate a lot of things together and get to this point. But even looking at the diagram breakdown here, you can see where they're strong and where they're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, early game for Blacklist International, when the Turtles are up, you don't really see them pop off there. It's when they start playing the map around the mid-game. It's when you have to be careful against Blacklist International. So we know the Orcas, they want to be aggressive. Sanford were the most aggressive and best EXP laners we know, but Edward can match that aggressiveness. Edward can match the ability of Sanford. That's why these two, when they go head-to-head in the EXP lane, the world watches.
Ain't this but a GOAT conversation?
Is it lagging, guys?
This a discussion that goes on every day. The aggression of Sanford, the impact he brings to every team fight that Echo is a part of, whether in the vicinity or halfway across the map when they play the New Year chip. And of course, Edward, who year after year after year, since year 0 of Blacks International, has been as consistent as one could be. I'm excited to see them in action again. We saw them do that in Cambodia. We saw them do that in Jakarta. We're going to see them do it here at home. And for all those watching at home, you're not going to want to miss this.
I feel like that's where, whenever these two teams play against each other, I always have my eyes on the XP lane. I love that lane matchup in general, but when it's these two players in that lane, you're not gonna have any surprises go on.
No, the surprise is what else new they can show us. Speaking of things to show us, Raptor, talk to us about the keys to victory brought to us by Infinix.
For Blacklist International, contest heroes that empower Echo's map presence. They brought out the Low Yi chip combo, but they also need to watch out for Sanji's Novaria, who has a very positive win rate at 5 wins, 1 loss heading into today. So you got to be careful with that. For Echo, contest heroes that empower Blacklist aggressiveness. We've been seeing a more aggressive flavor of Blacklist with Haji packing heroes that can get a lot of vision, aggressively go into the opposing jungle. Hell, they even brought out the Selena Roam for Haji, and they made that work against TNC Pro Team. So you really have to cover all bases during the draft when you are playing this matchup. When it's Blacklist versus Echo, once you think the role mid is already settled, you gotta watch out for the EXP laners, and then who gets the jungle, gold, all that. Cover all your bases.
Ain't that a doozy? All the years between Blacklist and Echo's rivalry, now we've come to a point where, oddly enough, we've come at a paradox. I call it a 2-point paradox, a TPP, where now it's Echo who's the one that needs their ecosystem answered, and it's Blacklist who's the aggressive one that Echo has to watch out for. How crazy is that? We've come full circle.
Coming full circle for this is the perfect timing now in week 7. And we have to let our viewers know watching on TikTok, you guys have a goodie bag lottery going on. So I'll make sure all you have to do, if you're not watching on TikTok already, head over there, go to the official channel of the MPL Philippines. It's at MPLPH_official. Make sure you click on the stream, of course, and then click on the top left corner of your screens for the goodie bag lottery.
Right about here.
Right about there.
Right about here before the game ends. That's what you do.
That's
All right?
tough.
I mean, sometimes you do get a little carried away, right?
Yeah, because think about it. Like, do you watch on YouTube or do you watch on TikTok?
I mean, it helps.
Or both.
It helps that we're reminding y'all. Real quick, here's a reminder. Since Blacklist is our home team, they have decided to go blue, which is about a coin toss. Looking at their stats sometimes, Coach Bon decides to go red. Here, they're looking to go with the grain, not against the grain. We're looking at a 57% win rate on blue, and that looks like what Blacklist wants to leverage.
Is that overall? Or
Yep, across.
Wow,
season
57.
Interestingly enough, the majority of the season, Blacklist International has spent on the red side.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now, based on their trends, we might see a first pick EXP or jungler for Blacklist International. So they might be contesting heroes like, of course, the Fredrin in the jungle, the Barretts, and the Arla too.
Yeah, no.
Is that your Fredrin impression?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you do it one more? I really like it.
First pick Fred is never a bad decision.
I'll be Barretts.
You're Detana, bro. You're
Oh, sorry, Detana.
I was gonna say
we just
that's-
had that fun fact.
yeah.
You want to be Barretts?
Sorry.
You want to be Barretts?
I can be the Barretts.
He can be
I can go on your
No,
shoulders.
no, you're Detana. I cannot carry
Dude,
you, man.
let me
You're
just-
like 280 pounds of muscle.
Just
All
got
right.
the rails real quick. I'm glad the game was started.
Talaga
Here we go. Game number 1. Again, confirmed. Blacklist
people na mga
on
assassin
the blue,
meta.
on the play. Looking to leverage that
Assassin.
first pick swing. What's the answer here? Coach Bon taking out the Angela and the Chip. All the while Echo taking out 2 solid, again, role-defining heroes, Harith and Fred.
That's crazy that you mentioned the 57% earlier for overall, but then you look at Blacklist's blue side win rate, it's at 33%.
Raptor
Yeah.
did say they like red.
Yep.
Yeah, they love the red side here. So you have heroes such as the Arlot Open, which I would really like to see first pick by Blacklist International. They're taking out the Barretts,
Like the
now
stream,
that might be a
guys.
swerve.
Thank
Because
you.
now you'll have to pick up the Baksha as your
Let's
first
go.
pick
Drop,
for
drop,
Blacklist
drop, drop.
if you want to take away comfort junglers from karltzy. But that means that you'll be giving the Nolan to Echo. So Blacklist, if they decide to play that route, the first picking the Baksha, but they don't. They said, man, we're just going to get the Low Yi. We saw how Sanji and Echo play with it. We're going to match your map presence with our own map presence. I like it.
I'm surprised. Like I know the Luo Yi has been doing
karltzy
great.
Ling.
Still surprising in the damage department too, and diversions, man. You love to see how that changes up the course of a
going
game
to see
overall
Helbert
from start to
today.
finish.
And it's poetic with the diversion that Blacklist has caused here in the draft. Now, with the first pick of the Low Yi, Echo are thinking harder because does this mean that they'll rush for the Baksha? Will they want to pick up an assassin?
Maybe a
Are they
Roger?
going to pick up even the Roger? Because if you're going up against Low Yi, you need to match it with quick scaling, something like the Roger that can be aggressive, and they do pick that up, and they pick up the Baksha as well.
Baksha?
Okay. I'm glad that they.
karltzy
Roger's
Baksha?
still really fitting in a lot of the situations, but this also leaves open, well, for Blacklist International on how they want to deal with that. But
Yeah.
even looking at this again in that mid lane, the damage dealt share. Yue has 30%, a little bit over what Sanji has done.
Yep.
But even Lancey there for a while was on top of a lot of things here. So great breakdown. There's the response though from Blacklist.
This has been something that they've started to bring out in late week 6, a little bit of week 5. Early Akai picks.
Yeah.
Suddenly they said, you know what, Sensui? Let's leverage the fact that you're great on the retribution. Let's give you the Akai. Look, they totally skipped the likes of a Nolan. What? You see that, Nolan?
Yeah, Nolan snub.
No, we don't care.
No Nolan.
No, and one of the reasons why we are seeing more of a rise in the prioritization of Akai is that Faramis has gone up in the ranks. And so Akai, of course, when you think about it, we can really utilize the heavy spin to just displace everyone and get everyone out of the Nether Realm as much as possible. So now Blacklist are, in a way, are indirectly pinching Sanji heroes. Although you still have available the Valentina and the Vexana, the Novaria. So a lot of picks available for Sanji. I like the Minotaur pickup too. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, Farum is still very much possible. Because there's no way that Blacklist can Val anymore.
Oh, yeah.
They can just lean hard into it. Again, there's only one heavy spin. And sometimes you can leverage the heavy spin to become a defensive heavy spin.
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
A DHS.
All right.
Another DHS.
Another I was going to say, that's a different kind of DHS.
Here we go. There's the Vexana. Again, they really are choking. I think Blacklist...
Hello, Reta.
Yeah, I think
Nathan.
they are thinking about the... Well, it still could be a Novaria because when you're up against a low Yi, you'd want to maximize the vision that you could get in the map.
I was going to say, remember, if we reference back to the keys to victory, that was the key for Echo. Like, have pick or draft into map awareness, and every time that pops up in my head right away, it's Novaria.
Yeah.
Like, that's. I don't know if there's a better hero out there for map awareness that I can think of.
Yeah. And I think another thing that we've been seeing also is that, you know how Novaria's actual Echo expands the hitbox of heroes?
Yeah. Yep.
Roger is actually very happy with that. Oh, and they decide to ban. It's a good ban.
I know this is completely unrelated hero-wise, but the only other hero map awareness-wise would be YSS.
Oh,
right? That's the only thing.
Confirms where everyone is.
Yep.
But look at this, the pivot by Echo. I'm pretty sure Sanji was already, all right, there goes my Nova.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just hit the Val, which already has 2 solid ults.
Yes.
Just with 3 out of 5 draft picks in for Blacklist. What's Blacklist to do here? They still do not have a gold laner. What are we leaving out for your good boy?
Remember, guys,
And there's still nothing
only one win.
Oh, we don't know where
Isang
it's
panalo
We
lang.
don't know yet.
Harith is still
For
available.
Blacklist
No,
to
I
banned
think.
out.
qualify for
Oh,
playoffs.
banned out. Thank you.
For
So, yeah,
example,
Harith.
nanalo sila
That's why I was
game
thinking,
1
like,
or
how
game
come
2.
Harith?
Pasok
Yeah,
pa
I
sila
was
sa
thinking that
playoffs.
earlier as well.
Isang panalo lang.
So I think this is
Just
going to
one
be an
win.
Edward pickup.
One more win.
The Arlot I would like to see put in the roam. So yeah, Paquito.
Okay.
Pero pag na 2-0 sila,
Burst.
Echo.
Oh, I thought they'd match it with a Benedetta, but no, it's a Yuzong. All right. So Yuzong has also risen in popularity because of the adjustments of a lot of the fighters and frontliners getting softer. Yuzong is happier because he hurts more.
But just the same, I could have sworn it was Blacklist who was going to pick up the Yuzhong.
Yeah.
Lu Yi, Yuzhong
Yeah.
is a lethal combo.
Oh, yeah, we saw it last night for RSG PH. But ever since the release of Yuzong, I don't know why
Sorry.
Blacklist tend to overlook that hero or just choose not to draft Yuzong. I remember way back in Season 8, we were pointing out about how, like, Yuzong's open, but Blacklist never picks it up.
Which is
Let's
weird
go,
because the
Hellbird.
rest of them are so aggressive, and it's Edward who seems to be the one who has the temper.
Later,
his play
maybe
style.
later,
One more
Hellbird.
look at their lineups again. As close to a rating pound for pound as it gets, about 40.40
Yeah.
between both of them. Folks at home, who do you think is going to take the dub here? Which draft do you like more? Because
Give us the hashtags.
Black or Echo, you know what it is, but Black without an A. It's BLCK.
Yeah.
Speaking of, looking at their lineup again, they can be as aggressive as they want to be. They have great re-engage,
They
they
do.
have great control, great rotational speed. As for Echo, again, it's Echo system, great coverage. They can disengage with the help of JP's Minotaur, and of course the Valentina, always so good at any range you engage with. And of course karltzy's Basha, both starting their buffs here early on. Orange for Black, purple for Echo. What are we looking at emblem-wise? Gonna be coming up soon.
Okay. You have the lethal ignition there. So this is one thing I was scared for JP and Sanji is that up against the Arlot and especially the Loi, the Minotaur and the Vexana in the mid lane will have a bit of a difficulty clearing the minion wave. So basic common emblem there for the carry, both master assassins for our 2 gold laners. So they just want to really
Just
win
sakit ng
in the
Louis.
duel. And those are really the major
Sakit ng
emblem
Louis.
points outs that I can see. see. Yes,
Oh,
but
naubos
it's
ang
going
buhay
to be
ni
a
Edward
rupture
na.
for that low Yi. So, yes, the Minotaur and the Valentino will have a hard time poking.
I love that that early aggression when we were talking about the Yu Zhang pick, and you see Sanford trading there, even using that Petrify. Almost got Edward down low enough. I mean, he held on to his flicker. He still had that available, but we'll see how that lane kind of develops into this. But right now, still making a play on here on the bottom side, all till that first objective will come up. So we'll see some of these level 4s get online for the rest of the team.
Amazing freeze by Benny here, making sure that he not only wins the lane, but also even after that false engage by karltzy, that lane is won. So when eventually when they go for the turtle, they're able to secure it for sure. Sensui up top here already.
Can you hear me now, bro?
Understand that
Can you hear me
behind
now?
the turtle take rate, so they want to fix
Oh.
that.
Wow,
Oh.
4v2 already.
Huge.
And the rotation, the change here is that they left JP in the mid so that he could get a bit more XP to get closer to level 4. And yeah, the waves right now
Is it
in the
good
middle
now?
are going to be going to
Okay
both
na?
roamers. Yue closer to level 4 compared to Sanji's level 3. So Blacklist International, they might be able to get away with this unless JP and karltzy have other plans.
Yep, half health here on the turtle. They're going to battle
Shit.
out. JP does have that level 4 available. Heavy spin going to be
Yo-ho!
used. karltzy able to get
Karltzy.
down. Can they get the first blood as well? Forcing Sensui back. They got the
OP
objective
back siya
now.
talaga ngayon,
Edward's going to
guys.
fight, but
OP.
they're going to call it off.
OP
It
back
looks
siya.
like, unless Edward wants some more,
Oh.
gets a couple punches off, but no one falls. Objective secured for Echo.
That's a win for the Orcas, regardless of
Oh.
weight. 40!
Hey! Makes his way in.
shot.
Edward comes in to cap the kill.
Okay, so Blacklist International get a kill back. However, I was slightly scratching my head as to what happened to that call. I thought Blacklist International would be a little bit more aggressive with getting that first turtle. They just left Sensui there. It looked like they decided to,
Okay,
mid
give me lang.
Sensui's poking of the turtle, just decided to go, hey guys, let's just go for the counter punish after this.
Oh, final slash by Hodge. Just helping out Oheb here. Not much from the gold lane just yet from both sides. Something to note, I think even if Echo did win the turtle, Blacklist is looking like they're happy with the trade.
Yeah, I mean, again, usually when it comes down to that first turtle, it's either a 50-50 or it's given away. That time around, though, it looks like even the fighting capability this early on from Blacklist is great, and they made a great play even with the diversion.
Yeah. So both EXP laners chasing the early damage for the pokes, both of them building Fury Hammers. The Paquito and the Yuzong already Oheb with the corrosion side up top.
Up top, Edward, 2
Oh,
versus
shit.
1.
Oh.
Too much to handle as
Edward
he
is
falls.
dead.
Top side, Yue, a little bit too late to that one.
A second late on the diversion. And again, that's just a clap back, a receipt, if you will, for Sanford's early death post-turtle take. Now about 15 seconds until the lower quarter. Mind you, Echo have all the greens. karltzy is just waiting for, oh, there's a jump.
Just going to jump in. Now Sanji there as well, holding on to his own heavy spin.
Grabe naman karltzy.
Blacklist
Aggressive
will
masyado
retreat
ng
from
ano.
that. Turtle's going to be
Baksa.
up here in a couple seconds. Though.
Ano?
Saw that spot, the Kairi jump.
The Kairi jump.
If you know, you know. Here we
Oh,
go. The turtle dance started up. karltzy with a subtle pull. And check it out. Sensui here still has... Oh, he started with the dragon.
Yep, they're going to force Sensui back. We'll see if he can find his way into this. Sanji holding on as well. Heavy spin, but they're not going to need it. Blacklist International stays disciplined, decides not to
Boba
engage.
naman, di ka alis
There's two
dyan.
turtles there for Echo, while Blacklist
Sinuzon
decided
ka
to leave
ng
Edward up
Nino,
top to get
Yuzong.
the gold from the shield.
Tapos yung
Great positioning
Valentina
there with
nakaakay
Sanji
yung
having
pa.
already the heavy spin, the Black Dragon form. The moment you see that and the positioning that Echo had with 2 members coming in from the middle, Blacklist, no way they could have contested that safely.
Here we go.
Better hero comp.
Another skirmish waiting to happen here in mid. Little Wanderer going over to Echo. Something to note, again, it looks like Echo have had it with bottom lane.
For-
They're trying to keep
For
fighting
crowd
until
control,
there, but now it seems like a
I think it's
diversion was
Echo.
karltzy is trying to steal
But
it with
for
her, trying to
damage,
get away with it.
It's
He's going to be there. Yue, though, to help him out. So, he'll be fine. Sensui
Blacklist.
grabs it
Because of Kairi.
real quick. Here's the items.
Okay, so
Burst-
Soccer already for the run.
burst damage,
An endless battle at
Blacklist.
second. Corrosion side.
Crowd
Ice
control
Revival
Echo.
already for the carry. Both a Hunter Strike for both of the EXP laners.
Yep, that's Edward Bogart rocking that Paquito, Terry Bogard skin.
Edward Bogard.
Doing as well as he could, you know. Up the tempo for Blacklist this early on.
Echo needs
It's
to
not gonna
finish this
stop
early.
1.52k gold lead that Echo have built up. Yue first building up his Durans, so that's gonna make JP's life a little harder. Look at the collapse.
Oh, JP gonna jump in
shit.
and find the lockdown too. Oh, Hep gonna flicker out.
Oh,
He's
Hep.
alive for
Oh,
now,
Hep,
but he's
you're
gonna get
dead,
hunted
boy.
down. Doesn't
dead.
team, but Haji comes
Oh,
in with
shit.
help. Can't go further.
Okay.
Still gonna be alive though. Haji did get the
Nice
kill, but
one.
then he comes in. Meanwhile,
You're
Oheb
dead,
drops on the
Hep.
top side. So it's gonna be a trade now. Still wanting more. Echo the Express.
Damn,
looking
the
for
Uzong.
Edward. Won't be able to find him. These two teams battling it out.
That I'll tell you, that's JP's fault.
bro.
JP did all that.
Perfect
It's
despair
JP's
stop
fault.
after that Minoan Fury knockup. That
It's
stop
JP's
put
fault
Blacklist
again.
in a difficult position and even a better
Yeah.
position for Sanji to use the heavy spin to get Oheb out of a good spot. This is what I love about seeing a Valentina and a Kai together in one game. You just don't know who's gonna go where. Everyone's just spinning. Everyone's getting back.
Oh, Beyblade, bro.
Here.
Beyblade.
Sui though. Can't spin, can't dance against 4.
Ooh, let it rip.
Wait, am I correct to
That's
understand
Beyblade
that-
right there.
Did Sensui get the purple?
Not sure if he was. Maybe he did. Maybe that's why he was again.
Yeah, karltzy is
area.
invading the purple,
Yeah.
so yeah, he
Good
needs to get
trade,
it.
regardless.
That did look like a baby match right there.
That's look at the
Edward
Beyblade,
taking a couple
bro.
shots. karltzy there. Sanford as well. Not going to be able to get the connection on that.
Oh,
diversion.
shit.
Walks right into it. Looks like a summoning circle for the dragon, but he can't get away.
Yeah.
That does make it up for the earlier delayed diversion. That was amazing. They literally welcomed 40 into that bush.
They brought
Great
the dragon
rotation
out.
there by Yue. Sensui already using the retribution. I think he tried to get, I believe that was JP off position. So now Blacklist getting small wins around the map. This is what we talked about earlier for Blacklist. That sudden mid-game turnaround once the turtles are down, how they decide to play the map and open it up a little bit more. And they need to do a little bit more work as Echo has better placements, especially in the center of the river.
Which is amazing because Echo have to watch out for these forward moves. And so far, it's only been Sanford that they've been trading out for. Sanford is the one who's suffering because of the diversion diff that Blacklist have. Oh, it's a fight ready to break out.
karltzy jumping over that, but Blacklist International sniffs it out. They back off once again. A whole lot of this where you see kind of Echo go in that express mode. Let's make a play, but then Blacklist will back off and then possibly try to re-engage or utilize that diversion later on.
Speaking of, you see the diversion range, not that massive yet.
Oh,
But they're gonna
it's
go into
Ubi
every
time.
buff to try and
It's
secure some
Ubi
stuff.
time.
Look at that quick rotation.
Yeah.
Foreman rotation.
Oh, no,
They
it's
left
just
him
the one.
they left
Foreman
him the baby
rotation, bro.
perp.
Yeah.
That's gotta be delayed maybe what? 10, 15 seconds? Because it could have respawned so much faster.
Oh shit.
Oh, I thought he was going to go more. Haji using the final
It's
slash.
JP.
But the rest of Echo here to find it out as well. They get the flicker out from Haji.
It's
Edward
JP.
bobs and weaves in with the punches.
Boom.
karltzy's going to be in trouble.
Oh, shit.
No, jumps in. It's a heavy spin going to be used, but on the backside, they go in. Oheb's going to
Oh,
fall.
Foreman
You way to
stuns.
answer now. And still Echo looking for more.
It's
They find
JP's
Haji
fault, bro.
again. The Echo Express punishes Blacklist.
3
It's
for 9.
JP's fault.
Tit for tat. Everything Blacklist threw at Echo. They had an answer, and they convert straight to a Lord.
6 times he got the MVP for a game this season so far. Sanji, what a heavy spin to lock down 2 members of Blacklist International. Blacklist could have fought that. They could have countered it. But with 2 members locked down and pinned down to the wall and not in a fun way, Echo would run away with it.
Look at this. We're going to see once more poetry in motion. Exactly how it started. They almost got Karl.
Yeah. We're looking at Sanji flickering forward, then popping the heavy spin. It was Oheb and Yue that he had locked down, and it even threw off Haji's usage of the Vengeance Arlot's second skill. My
There's
goodness.
a whole lot of just heavy spin everywhere.
That's Blacklist International's cores.
Yeah.
He literally took down Blacklist cores.
Yeah.
And there's very little the rest of them could have done. What was Edward to do? Burst him to death? It wasn't possible at the time. Now Echo 4K ahead. Lord marching up top. Big fat wave down bottom. There's one in mid as well.
Yesterday, it's Demon Guide's back siya.
Blacklist is gonna be fine. Likely
Okay.
Blacklist is not gonna lose an inhibitor, but
Now-
turning the map red.
It's
What they're gonna
karltzy.
do?
It's ironic when you think about it. If you go back to MPL Philippines Season 10, Blacklist International brought out
Like the
the
stream, guys.
Valentina
Thank you.
jungle pick as a response to the jungle Akai pick of karltzy back then during that grand finals. So now
14
Echo,
seconds before
just in the
Minotaur's
second phase,
flicker.
we're like, oh, we'll pick up the Valentina up against your Akai.
9 seconds.
We know how much that throws off teams, and we saw it there. We saw it happen.
Man, not only that, but the way that Sanji's been utilizing that ult has been flawless so far. And now you saw him earlier, right? He was holding on to the final slash that time around. But I'm wondering how that game plan of his will change over the next couple minutes.
Again, it seems like Sanji now, the game plan for him is to play a utility mid. You all know the stats, head-to-head with Yue. He's dealing much less damage. So it's not about what you got, it's how you use it. He literally just said, I just need my ult, which is most likely the heavy spin, maybe sometimes the final slash, which hasn't happened yet. This 11-minute bout so far. But when he does find that, when it comes down to it, likely it's going to turn sideways again for Blacks International. So what's Blacklist to do here? I don't know if rotations like this would solve the problem. They have great checks. Haji can't be used to check bushes though. So likely it's going to be Yue. I'm feeling the pressure for Yue.
That was really great positioning and even understanding by Sanji, knowing that he's up against a low Yi, a hero that we saw him use last night last night or last week.
Yep.
To great effect.
Yep.
He was staying in a perfect area that rotation would not spot him out or even lower down his health.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, right at the edge. That was pretty cool.
He knows that if a rotation would be thrown here, I wouldn't be spotted either way at max range.
Exactly.
Amazing work by the young genius Sanji. And again, Sanford can afford to do this. He has a Black Dragon form on demand. karltzy holding this bush right here. This is Echo's own version of the little diversion play. Like they're able to sandwich. They're able to collide into a midway point throughout Lord. And look at this. Look at the patience. Look at the patience by the best in the world. By the young goat. I'm just going to sit here. They don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's a blast from the past because if you go back to history, usually karltzy would be occupying that shrub with someone else. Former roamer Yawi.
Waiting for a possible conceal play, but this time he knows. I got the information on Blacklist International with his positioning, and Echo can kind of just hold down this side of the
Okay, Denver.
Oh man, he's like Elmer.
Comment ka lang, Denver. Okay lang yan.
All right, here we go. Echo starting up the Lord.
Uh-oh.
karltzy switching bushes.
He's driving around, gonna find crashing into 3. Still has to respect the damage though, but it's gonna force Blacklist International back. They got the Dragon form out as well from Sanford.
Do they know Sanji's there?
Oh, conceal play. Oh, yes,
Get
Sanji.
out.
He is there. Haji might be on the hunt here, but do they still want to commit to this? No one there for the follow-up. So again, it comes down to just both teams kind of resetting here.
Benny.
Oh, shit.
Going for her. Oh, he has to flicker out
Fuck that
himself.
Roger, bro.
Thought that maybe he could burst down Yue there. So still finding themselves battling it out for this Lord.
Yeah. Good thing he did get the flicker away because that would have been a good setup for Blacklist International via Haji's final slash. Still
Comes
don't
back
fit.
so quickly.
Yeah.
With this now, the Lord Dance going to commence here. Sanji holding on. Once again, there's the final slash already going to be used on JP. JP goes in, but can't get off what he's looking for.
Beyblade,
They find down
Beyblade.
the lockdown on the bounce side. Now
Oh, I
Sanji's
told
in
you
trouble.
guys.
Gets taken down by Ohed, and now it's Sanford. With the wind of nature going to be utilized, and he's still up for now, but finally gets taken down.
Blacklist
What is
done.
the 3
Oh,
trade
shit.
going on?
Roger.
Haji still alive. Will go down to karltzy.
Oh.
Benny Cutie trying to pop off on the backside, but Carl will go down as well.
Shit.
Blacklist International wins the fight.
A disastrous
So cool.
outcome for Echo. Multiple times they tried to engage, but Blacklist won
Nice
that
Benny,
fight,
nice
and now they
Benny.
stand tall, going for the Lord.
Oh, Benny, this is risky.
Benny trying to buy some
Oh,
time
shit.
the best he can from the Lord.
Oh.
Gets you out of here. Oh, Redward as well. He stops Blacklist from taking the Lord with a massive play.
Damn you, Benny! Damn you!
Damn you,
No
Benny.
one has any right to win the 3v1 at the Lord like that. But he still stalled
Putang Benny yun.
Blacklist single-handedly. Let's see a replay.
Preventing
just
the
when
Lord.
we thought he
take-
would be out. Good usage of the
Preventing
light
the Lord
compounds.
take.
He wasn't even 100% when he joined that. He even got Bursts it down.
He target Yui
by
first.
Edward, but he survived.
Then
He
Edward.
scratched. He clawed. Got one. And he almost went down, but
Grabe.
Lycan bounced just in time
Good
to
form.
get to Sensui, finish him off. But Benny Cutie saved that for Echo.
I just want to say one word, boys. Balanced.
What?
Balanced.
Balance.
Balance. All right.
Definitely balanced.
Totally balanced. Yeah. You felt that earlier with your gourd when we were playing RG.
I feel it every time I see Roger on the field, man.
Imagine it in the hands of one Benedict Gonzalez. Let's talk about that. Here we go, another Lord Dance. Both teams fumbled in that last engage about 2 minutes ago. Now both have recovered well. Battle spells coming off cooldown. Ults on deck. Green dots everywhere. And now karltzy and Sensui dancing around. Again, neither team got the Lord. Neither got really close.
Yeah, look at that. Edward rolling around with UA. He's going to have his own delivery service if they need it.
Oh,
Looks
good
like they're gonna
afternoon,
pull it
bro.
off back to that mid lane after clearing the
Good
top.
afternoon, Jerome.
So they find themselves once again in this Lord Dance. Who's going to pull the trigger first? Half health here on the Lord. Sensui there as well in front of karltzy. Now on the bottom side, Edward going to get spotted. Has to flicker out.
Oh, Lord,
Still
Lord,
a fifth
Lord.
of the health on that Lord. They're going to have to
Ani,
break
Ani,
it
Santi
down,
yan.
and they
Nice
go in
one.
with the flicker.
Nice
Forcing
one.
them back. They want to fight it out.
Galing, galing.
Lord's going to go in and get the reset. There's the lockdown from Sensui.
Galing,
He's
galing,
quite
galing.
low.
Galing,
Nobody
galing.
dropping just yet. Benny Cutie going to be forced back down. They're looking for
Grabe,
Haji.
mabibig yun.
Immortality going to be popped here. Edward trying to get there to help him out.
Galing, galing, JP.
Concealed
Ayan na.
on the run.
Puta, Roger.
Benny's on the
Boom.
hole.
Puta
Like
na.
it pounds.
Ayan na.
Everything is for him as he gets a triple. Looking for
shit,
the
Roger.
maniac. And Benny Cutie will do it again.
The art of the turn. Echo have just danced their way
Galing na galing
to
si
an
Benny.
situation.
And now they look for the last kill, the
Grabe.
captain.
Oh, shit, Savage.
For Benny Cutie as they take game one.
Who let the
Guys.
dogs out?
Hindi nyo lang ako nakikita dito. Kita,
That is
pero
the second Savage in all of
Malaki
season
mata ko.
13. And Echo take game one.
Oh, all the Clippers are rushing to clip that.
Grabe.
Clip that for sure. And you see Echo going nuts. Benny Cutie, not one, not two, not three, not four, but five. Even Dwayne Wade, LeBron James,
Five
Chris
Blacklist
Paul,
member
I've seen them
running
go
for their
down.
lives
Damn.
because of Benny Cutie.
Oh man, it just had to be after I said,
Benny
hey,
Cutie,
Roger,
Roger.
hashtag balance, baby.
Balanced.
Oh man, but in the hands of a player like Benny Cutie to dissect that match, because again, he didn't just jump in there. The ability to find those windows where he was going into the Lycan form, going out, disengaging, re-engaging, masterclass there, breakdown.
Grabe.
And again, the Lord was like on a fourth of the health.
Yeah, and he had to time it well with the jump as well. With the Lord skill for him to get away with
Prime
it.
Benny Cutie is back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the physical demands, the emotional toll that it takes to win a team fight like that, or at least to recover from such a blunder. I would not name any other person than Benny Cutie to be the MVP.
He's even got it. He's got the scratches.
Of course, this man is going to be the MVP with what he brought out there in the end. With the play to save that Lord for Echo. 3v1, taking down 2, leaving Sensui to say, I can't take this alone. And then, of course, the Savage there in the end. His positioning was key. And there's one item I want to put a little bit more focus on here as a Roger. GDS, the Great Dragon Spear. We've seen that as the third build item for Rogers now because of just how well it does for situations like that. What you mentioned, Leo, the turn. 4 teams to just chase down and turn things around, and with the increased movement speed that he'll get once he switches out of those forms, if he times things really well, are great. But before all of this, Sanji was the MVP for Echo, leading up to the winning situations because of how he utilized the heavy spin, how he timed himself as the Akai. You saw them try it out here in the at one point during the Lord where it sort of crumbled for Echo, but Blacklist responded to it. If Blacklist went away with this, we would have brought up how well Echo or Blacklist International fought this fight because of their tight positioning.
Grabe,
They
no?
saw how
Grabe.
Echo were placing themselves, how they saw that, okay, if we just time our crowd control really well, we'll be able to answer this Roger. But they couldn't find the Roger in the end there. It was Benny Cutie who got that big win for Echo. My God, I'm still speechless with what he was able to pull off there. And eventually, this sequence here with the chase down. Once you see life bars that low as a Roger, you're happy. That is a few Lycan pounces, clawing and scratches away from getting it, and he'll run away with that Savage, and Echo will take this game number 1.
More impressive than even BLACKLIST's performance is his teammates' control. The urge to steal away the Savage. They let him have it. Kudos to Echo.
I feel like the comms there at that time was like, give it to Benny, just make sure that he gets that Savage.
Indeed, they hunt us one.
Yeah.
Hunt us one.
And they got that. Hunt us one to secure those 5. But Echo, really, how they played this game. We talked about Sanji in the beginning. I really want to put a little bit more focus on this man. And of course, the San duo. Sanford had to be patient as a Yuzong here. Because when you're going up against an Akai, of course, you're thinking as a Yuzong, all right, I'll just go hop into the dragon form real quick. Just make sure I get that Petrify combo knockup. But we saw in that last Lord fight, actually, that Sanford was thinking about it because he was waiting for Sensui's usage of the heavy spin. Once BLACKLIST International put themselves in a situation where Echo said, okay, there's a little bit of a gap between Sensui Sakai and the backline of BLACKLIST International. All right, this is how we're going to be tackling this. We forced a reaction from BLACKLIST International to jump onto the Akai to save Sensui. So now we're going to jump on the BLACKLIST backline so that Echo can build a win from there, and then that's how they were able to win that sequence. BLACKLIST International, though, drafting that Loyi in the first
Prime Benny Cuties pang na ba?
that was a hell of a swerve for their draft, but they overlooked, it feels like to me, that Valentina. Looking back at hindsight, once that Valentina got picked up, what a perfect reaction answer to what BLACKLIST International want to play, especially having an Akai stealing away the heavy spin when you have an Arlot and a Paquito in your lineup. Edward and Haji will have a hard time against Sanji when he's an Akai with that heavy spin.
The Sansan duo definitely had their work cut out for them.
Yep.
And the fact that they leaned so well into it and they understood that it was a dirty job and someone had to do it, what better two pair of young gentlemen, two of the most promising and most elite athletes in all of MLBB sports to serve up and deliver. I'm super impressed. Again, it could have been Sanji, all right? A third into the game, it was Sanji MVP.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Benny said, watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. And I thought his moment here was going to be that 3v1, winning the 2 kills and delaying the Lord take, but then he did the Savage.
You thought, right? I mean, that's what I was saying. He went in and did that and then capitalized it even further from there. And it's hard to really break down the fact that this is the Echo Express where from one portion of the game, it's this player or that player. And then another, someone comes up and steps up. And that's what made them so strong for such a long time, even now.
I'm convinced this team still definitely is one of the teams you have to consider when you're talking about when your breath mutters super team. You gotta look at Echo. Again, if you're able to outshine the GOAT, again, we barely talked about karltzy's heat map. If you're able to outshine karltzy, if you're able to outshine one of the first 2-time MPL champions in all of the league, JP, who's, by the way, performance was pretty good here in this game as well. Where do you go from there, right? That's why I put them number 1 in my power rankings this week. They are the most over team for me in all of season 13. Before we move on and talk about the predicament the BLACKLIST is in, let's talk about our sponsor, Infinix, the GT Series. Outplay the rest, brought to you by Infinix, our official sponsor of MPL Philippines season 13.
Be unstoppable and outplay the rest with the Infinix GT Series.
Now,
Man.
again, we were wondering what BLACKLIST might be feeling pre-match. How about now? How about now that they... Wait, no. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You guys were like way too close to each other.
I was going to say,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Go for it.
Let me go a little further.
Is it not BLACKLIST who was also the victim of another Savage? The other Savage this season. Was it not BLACKLIST as well? In the hands of Nomad.
Oh,
right.
That's true.
TNC versus BLACKLIST. It was No Man's Bruno, game number 1.
Game number 1.
Man, this season 13 Ube might not be the flavor. Might not be.
Well, yeah. Again, when you have a Roger across from you and everybody's like low health, that's probably where you're like, all right, let's go different ways. You go that way, I'll go this way. Disperse.
It worked out again to save themselves from Sanji, right? But where to from here? Where to from here? How do they complete the Infinity Gauntlet, that of which is worn by this nondescript caster?
Grabe yun, grabe.
I think combination of all of us.
I was going to say,
It could be anyone.
I was trying to think who this was.
Right? Think about it. It's almost complete. Frame 1. The qualified teams in the playoffs. Yes, I'm going to translate every single one.
Go for it.
A deep, contemplative look. And then just one more. I got that big one.
Yeah, this literally could be all of us, because if you look at the eyes, that's a combination of Brigida, Chantel, and even Mara's eyes.
Where am I in this? I don't see myself in this at all.
Well, there's something that popped into my head, but I can't say it on broadcast.
All right.
And it's not visible in the frames.
It is now visible in the
You
frames.
got pretty big hands. So
That's
that's
Yeah, it's the
I
hands,
know, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, because the hand was covered by the gauntlet.
That's right.
right.
That's a pretty big gauntlet.
Right. Thanks again to our lovely community members, artists who are also big fans of the MPL. You guys keep us going. Now, with that said, let's reel back in to the matchup at hand. It's Echo's turn. They are away, and game 2, pick side goes to them, and they pick blue.
All right, they go blue, but doesn't this also mean that statistically, again, Blacklist International has performed better on the red side?
Yeah.
So, right?
Oh, that's true.
Right, they have.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that changes. But again, I know for the team and for Coach Bonchan, they're like, just go for another game, focus on winning. But all the agents out there watching right now are probably holding on to their seat a little bit. I don't know if everybody's fully capable of just being like, all right,
Yeah.
let's just go for the win here.
Not breathing, just...
This is tough. This is a situation ahead of them. They cannot have the 2-0 here.
Cannot.
They cannot.
Yeah.
Well, no.
They
can afford it.
They can afford it, but they
They'd
really
rather
don't
not.
want to be in that situation.
Yeah, because again, if Blacklist get 2-0'd here, and in a reality where by tomorrow or by the last series of the season tomorrow, Omega have won their matches.
Yeah.
Blacklist will have to face against RSG and try to get their 1 point in the very final series of the season against RSG PH. Mind you, one of the teams trying to get through the no play-ins route.
So Echo needs this just as bad.
Yeah, Echo also needs this too. So it's tough going for Blacklist because they're going up against teams for their last 2 chances to get that 1 point. Teams who want to end the season top 1 and avoid the play-ins round.
Oh, to be an Orca. Oh, to be an agent right now. And we're just going into game number 2. Again, folks, the fact that our point system has changed this season means the dynamics of the teams trying to get in also.
Remember when we were contemplating how the point system would affect the whole regular season?
Yeah.
Well, this is it.
Up to the very last point. Up until day number 2, week 7. Here we go. The draft is upon us. Echo on the play. They ban out the Lu Yi, and we see a Matilda ban from Black.
Yeah. So in terms of the first picks here for Echo, Fredrin, Arlott, Baksha, they've even done a Barrett's first pick at some point. Yeah, they've done Barrett's first pick twice. But in terms of their priorities, throughout the season for Blue Side, Barrett's, Fred, Nolan, Novario, even Roger. Hell, if Blacklist aren't careful, even Angela's an option for Echo for the first pick.
So far, whenever Echo is blue, yeah, again, talking about like recent memory, right? Reps-wise might change because we did have a mid-season patch.
Yeah.
But now that Fred is out, do we miss a karltzy Barats?
Yeah, Barats would be
Carl
great.
does like his Barats.
Yeah, looking at these bands, Barats makes sense for me as the first pickup, but even Arlott would be okay.
Yeah, well, we're waiting. If this is not the Barats, then that means Echo might pick it up.
Yeah.
So then, if that's the case, does Blacklist International actually want to go with the Roger this time around and put that in the hands of Oheb?
Blacklist on red.
On the red side here?
Yeah.
I feel like
Maybe
you need to take it.
Roger, Arlott, if that's not taken up. There's the ban, so it's Chip.
Hell, knowing Echo, they might even just go, we got to savage the first game with it. Why don't we just first pick Roger? That might also be in their mind.
Right
Yeah.
momentum.
Oh, but it
Right
is the
momentum.
Angela.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Hello guys.
Likely Sanji.
Let's
Likely
go.
a mid
Ah,
Angela.
guys,
Yes.
palike
Blue
na
Angela
stream.
don't work in the current game.
Salamat.
Very, very expensive. Very risky to do that.
Ganun lang ako.
Roamers
Para
need to
sa-
do roamer things. And
Yeah, natin
is
mga
that young gentleman you saw earlier.
Yeah,
Not
and,
this one.
and that might be the swerve that Echo are going for, because the history of Echo with this Angela is it has
Grabe,
always been a
thank
roam
you.
for
Yun ah.
JP. So they might swerve it, put it in the mid lane, and then just have another roamer for JP later on.
Yep. It's likely. The Arlott's still out there.
Grabe,
JP
thank
plays
you.
an Arlott. JP has a Cho. JP has a Kaja. Still a lot of choices.
Guys, may
here
tatanong ba kayo?
for, the illustrious JP de la Cruz.
This might be mid and jungle for Blacklist International. Steal away the Barretts if they want to. You don't want the Barretts and Angela. Oh, but they're going to play into it. They'll go for Baksha and they'll steal away the R-Lot. So Barretts is open here if they want to. And they go ahead and pick it up. All right, picks.
Wow. Coach Tic Tac pull in a Treb, the blitz response.
Yeah.
Again, the Baksha in the hands of Sensui, who has, by the way, an all-time high in kill participation across the board this season. A whopping 86, 87%, the highest amongst all junglers in Season 13. Echo the answer back. Again, this doesn't say where the Angela's gonna go, but I'm liking the Sanford Yuzhong. Was a revelation at M4, and of course, karltzy's Barats.
It's just staple. I feel like, you know, when you talk about karltzy's Barats, able to kind of roll around with that. It's a foundation for any kind of lineup they want to go with. It's I don't know. For me, it's almost even better than the Fred in some cases.
Hey.
Whoa.
I'm sorry to all the Fred religious, you know, people out there for Fredrin.
The Fred
But
loyalists.
Barrett's guys and Daytona. Let's not forget them. Especially now that they can do different things. You know, they're a little more mobile.
Yeah, you just like saying Daytona because you're from Florida.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you know me pretty well, Renmar.
Yeah, dude. Too well sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Scarily well.
You knew
Sometimes
my-
I can't stop thinking about you.
Okay. That's a different level, sir.
Professionally, of course. It's going through your mind, man. In terms of the bands here, I actually love this Faramis band here for Echo. Faramis Angela would have been devastating, and of course, it leads into the idea we were talking about earlier with more sustain being built by Echo. I still am now leaning more towards the idea that this will be a Roam Angela, while the mid laner here, they can still pick up Vexana if you're Echo, if Blacklist doesn't ban it out.
No,
if you're
they'll
not,
pick it.
Yep, it's snagged by Blacklist.
They might actually Valentina.
oh, sorry, I meant Valentina.
There you go.
It's the letter V's.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. The final slash, the
they're also bluish.
Turtle Guard. And they're also blue. Yeah, you know there was one game I had where I really wanted to ban Vex, but when I pressed the ban button, I was like, wait, why is Faramis banned? Oh no, they both look kind of alike. It's the color scheme.
All right, it explains why Faramis and Vex are the same color scheme. They're both from the Necro Keep.
I was gonna say
That's true.
Yeah, in the lore, they're pretty related-ish.
Yep.
In the story.
Also in the lore, they both kind of lost like 50 years. They're both very young now.
I like this Nathan pickup for Blacklist, although playing it into against a Yuzhong is going to be tough for them. So if Echo just wanted to go hyper aggressive, put this Angela in the mid, if not the Valentina. Oh wait, no, it is the Valentina.
There it is.
That was right already.
Oh wow. Going against the grain.
Whoa.
Echo, one of the few teams that might actually make Roam Angela work.
Yeah.
I would say this season it's mostly been in mid lane, right?
The mid is where it works. Yeah, because again,
Yeah.
your Roam needs to do a certain thing that Angela just can't in the current metagame.
Yeah. Up against an R-Lot and a Baksha. Well, it's still doable, but then that puts up a lot of pressure onto karltzy's shoulders to be able to hold the front line well. So Blacklist International, great balanced lineup. This Edith actually might be very punishing for Echo to deal with.
Okay.
And for the agents there, I just have to say that this is looking good for Blacklist Draft going into game number 2. They
Definitely.
just need to be careful with how well they play the map, because up against an Angela and a Claude, I think that's why Echo went for the Claude. They saw that we might be going into this sort of having difficulty in the early to mid. Let's have a Claude just in case we need to
Kumain ka
open
na.
up and open it.
Which is odd because it seems like halfway through the
Sino
draft,
ako?
they solved the problem that they walked themselves into.
Yeah. I'm surprised by the
Iba.
lineup rating there. I'm not sure if that was 100% where it had to be, but I like the Blacklist lineup here for this game,
Exactly.
right?
No.
And not to mention,
Di
they're,
ba, maya.
they're
Oy,
very good
Denver.
up front. The backside can be covered.
Pwede
They have
mong
good disengage.
gamitin
And
yan,
then you
okay
got to
lang
factor
yan.
in too, the EG, the
Pwede
Eternal
yan,
Guard
mag-chat
part
ka
of
para
this
may
fight as
kausap
well.
din
This
ako.
lineup on Blacklist
Usap-usap
looks like
tayo
the
dito
kind
na
of
yan,
lineup
Jerome.
you play when you just need 1 point. When
Yeah.
you need to win 1 game to make it in the playoffs. And that's where we're at right now. So all of the agents watching all over the world, send us your energy. Your team needs it. As for Echo, well, sometimes they do like this. It's just the way they are.
They do be doing it.
Oh, interesting adjustment by JP. It's a focusing mark on that Angela. We saw it right before the split cam. So that's a good little adjustment by Echo.
Grabe, Benny Cutie,
Knowing
no?
that they're probably
No?
thinking what
Grabe,
we were
Benny
thinking in
Cutie,
terms
no?
of
Parang
how
ano
many
eh.
partners could run
Parang
away with this. So how do we
bumalik
balance
yung
that?
Benny
Be able to
Cutie.
dish out just a little bit more damage. So that 6% will come in big.
Oh wow! Something to note as well. That's a lot of quantum charge from Echo, and a lot of emblems that just give you a little extra numbers early on. So something tells me
Alam
they
guys,
might actually go fast. They might
Nag-ano rin tayo
try
ng
to
ano eh. Pang-content natin
avert
eh. I-upload ko
expectations
lang.
from Blacklist and just collapse onto them. Reminds me of a situation we found ourselves in earlier when we played ranked games.
Yep, we got collapsed on a little bit, you know?
We got collapsed and clapped.
Could be.
Could be. That was a tough one. And with this, I think Echo is kind of find themselves in the same situation where if it gets to the long game, they're really going to struggle here. So we'll see how they kind of play around that. They do have a couple outs in terms of all the CC being thrown at them with the Purifies, of course.
Yeah, which I think builds on the theory I'm working on right now. Because it's not a defensive Purify, it's aggressive.
Yeah.
They
Big flapa. Very cute.
Hold on in the mid lane.
MVP.
JP
Correct.
has the heals.
Oh, it's
Stays
JP's
alive
fault
with
again.
those waves, but of course they got the flicker out of him.
Yeah. And of
How'd
course,
you use his as well?
JP's
well,
doing
folks, if you
doing
are
good,
wondering,
right?
hey, the lineup rating looks really good for Echo. What are they talking about? This Angela role might be difficult. It's situations like
JP
that.
MVP,
that
bro.
even before the turtle, the Angela roll might be low. Might not be able to get the vision you want to get in the key areas because you're going up against a Vexana and Edith together with a lot of crowd control that can pin you down and burst you down.
Luckily, he has a wave coming his way. JP might hit level 4 just in time. Turtle already up.
Oh, pressure there on the bottom side too. Dragon form already going to be used here, trying to keep them out of the range. There goes the EG.
Wow.
Oh,
He's able to get the
shit.
turbo, and it's Haji the first one to fall. And now they go for more. Final Slash going to be utilized as well. JP a part of the fight, trying to keep them alive.
Oh.
Sensui will get taken down. And Edward was hunting for Sanford but couldn't find him.
Why
This
did
early
he
on,
just
heads
ban
rolling 3 for
Stanford
2.
Yuzong?
Across the map, there was violence.
Yeah, Benny Cutie was able to solo
Aye.
kill Oheb into the gold lane. So now that's going to
Stanford
be
Yuzong
one
is
gold card.
a
Let's see if that gold
monster.
card will go down. We're looking at that little blue dot disappear, and it did. So one gold card taken away there from Oheb. And I want to commend Sanford in that last engagement. That was an ecosystem approach to a team fight. It was karltzy who got the bite down onto a member of Blacklist, but Sanford was the one who kept Sensui from being able to retribution by utilizing the Petrify knockup combo as a Yuzhong.
Yeah, 40 was the catalyst. Now Oheb trying to make the most of a situation down bottom. Good chunk of the shield's taken away.
Still a little lead there. Just
Yeah.
very minor though for Benny Cutie in the gold lane.
In terms of the items, well, they might be getting their first items close enough. Corrosion Scythe and the Feather of Heaven not too different in terms of the gold difference. Just 200, 300 gold separating them if I'm not mistaken. And Echo, if they want to win this in the early games, they'll have to win it through the turtles and those little victories that they can get. But you're seeing here Sanford Yuzhong having a difficult time dueling against Edward's Arlot.
Okay, the onward comes through into the Eternal Guard. They get the Heart Guard as well, but Benny Cutie going to drive them back a little bit further.
Get Benny
Meanwhile,
Cutie.
karltzy will fall. Sanji picks up the kill as well, the 1-for-1 trade. Haji and karltzy.
And for
So
Benny
it's a back
Cutie,
and
bro.
forth still.
Amazing target acquisition here by Blacklist.
Yes.
They put Oheb where he needed to be, and that's a trade you're going to take any day, man. A roamer for a gold lane or jungler?
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Sanford. Ooh, okay, got that tracking enhanced basic attack. But yeah, for majority of the time, I think we're going to be seeing
Benny
this
Cutie is
Arlot
playing
get out
with
of
Joy
the lane
now.
a little bit more or quicker. But of
Masaya
course,
na
you
si
have
Benny
the Black
Cutie
Dragon
habang
as a
naglalaro,
result.
hindi katulad
In
last
terms of
season.
lane dueling, difficult as you can see for this YZ. Edward
Oh.
almost solo killing
Last season,
Sanford
malungkot si Benny
too. So at some point,
Cutie
Echo might need to
habang
readjust.
naglalaro
Turtle up.
See if they can
Katulad
grab
ngayon,
it.
nakatawa
Echo
na.
weaving in.
Haji!
Haji jumped in again over the
Ay, no, may
nose.
pwesto ni
Sensui's
Benny
going to get
Cutie,
the
oh.
turtle now. The
Oh,
fight breaking out
Benny
once
Cutie.
again. karltzy going to fall. Sanford jumps
shit.
in though. Finds a massive stun and
Sanford.
guard as well. Forcing UA back. But Sanford goes down. Blacklist wants to fight
Shit.
back. But it's a trade. The 2-for-2 again.
Man, I'm not even playing and I already feel Sensui's Baksha. That Heart Guard doesn't really make much of a difference. karltzy's passive healing not going to work with the Baksha's marks. And that's what's allowing Blacklist to call
JP,
the shots
go,
this time
JP.
around.
Go,
Approaching the
JP,
1,000
go,
gold lead.
JP, go.
Nice little bob and weave there, staying
Nice.
alive for Sanji. Has not gone down yet. Oh, both retries going to
Oh,
be
shit.
used. Benny Cutie joined
Benny
the fight
Cutie.
as well. Edward now in a little bit of a rough position as Sensui falls. Now Edward trying to jump in, going for JP. And he gets him before he goes down as well.
Wow,
JP,
great
bro.
tracking there with the vengeance by Edward.
Guys,
being able to get JP
Nice
down.
casting is
And going back into the
immaculate,
turtle fight
right?
that we saw that led to
Nice
this little
to
scrap
end Mirko.
afterwards.
same
We
level.
need to commend how
For
Haji was
me.
able to just look at karltzy and say,
Naisu,
man,
best
let's just
caster
control
in
it, take it down."
PH.
Great timing, and
In-
Black
for
was
English
able to
Des.
respond. It was just
And Mirko.
an easy onward toss-up, and
For
then with
MPL
the
ID.
Earth Shatter as well. karltzy was not able to retrieve that. BLACKLIST, though, still in this. Echo 2, still a very close
JP
game.
the GOAT.
Both teams playing really well around the
JP the
objectives. With
GOAT.
the items up already. Necklace of the
Off
Runs
team, for
available
sure.
for this Vixana.
JP
So
the
they
GOAT.
both have the anti-healing that both team needs.
They're a turtle apiece, so this last one spawning in about 20 seconds could make the difference. Their ramp up from the early to the mid. Edward given all the space to push in, making Sanford's life not that much easier. And there you go, the first turret falls.
Yeah, it's the Scythe and DHS already built up for Benny Cutie's Claude,
Oh.
while the Nathan just built up the Starlium Scythe.
Taking a drive around the front.
Oh.
Sensui
Oh, shit.
gonna find Sanji. Finally will take him down. First death of the
Can
game for
Blacklist-
Sanji. And this could just be for BLACKLIST International to take the turtle here. Unless karltzy and Benny Cutie and the rest of the team want to do
Break
something
the
about
hole.
it.
Somehow, some way, this could be tough. Sensui with a flank.
Has the hard guard on top of him, goes in looking for that turtle. Oheb's gonna be able to secure it with the blazing duet on top
Oh,
of
it's
Oheb.
Kar-
Does not
it's
go
karltzy's
down.
barat.
karltzy's the one to
Thank
fall.
you,
They lose their jungler. BLACKLIST
Laki ng
International
barat si
wins that
karltzy
fight.
dun ah.
That was a tough engage. Echo were a man down and they still decided to go in. And there wasn't enough on Benny or Sanford to punish BLACKLIST from leaning hard into that turtle. BLACKLIST winning all of that.
Oheb was stone cold. He had the Angela and the Claude on him, but he said, you know what? I think two of my skills, one superposition, will be able to send them back, hurt them. And the moment Benny Cutie felt the damage of that Nathan, even though he had the Angela on him, he was like, nah, I gotta back out here, even though it looked like they were gonna take Oheb down. Oheb surviving that was key for BLACKLIST.
Abort, abort. Something tells me Echo may have missed their snowball point.
Yes.
Their lineup was built to snowball, and again, that's what explains this odd roamer Angela. So now, I reckon the play might be, all right, let's get actual items and a solid gold lead on our heroes and on our
Composition.
composition, and then go from there. Because look, there is good damage on them, but it's damage that they can't use. It's damage that doesn't really translate.
And Echo can't seem to get the longer engagement that they want to get. Again, we mentioned during the draft that this type of lineup, having an Angela roam, will put a lot of pressure onto the Barretts, onto karltzy's shoulders. And he's taken the brunt of it. 1, 4, and 7. He has the most deaths right now on Echo, because as the main frontliner, every time Haji and US see him, they're just like, all right, let's just go after this Barrett.
Light
And
him
of
up.
course, again, with Angela roam, the situations that's just leading up to that, with Sanji in the mid lane just getting picked off by that Baksha and two other members of BLACKLIST International, one of them being the Edith, that's going to happen more frequently if Echo don't watch their positioning in certain portions of the game.
Yep. So again, they're playing the long lane here, setting up for the first Lord of the game. BLACKLIST also moving up towards that spot, lower quarter, 2,000 gold ahead. That's a solid 2,000 gold, by the way, folks. That's 2,000 you can feel.
And with that, I guess this is where it really comes down to see how much that power spike, that missed power spike, or that snowball power spike for Echo, has it fallen off at this point, or can they continue to farm up and get to a point where they're very threatening in the team fight? Because now it comes down to these Lord dances.
Oh, look at this positioning here by Sanford. Can get the members of BLACKLIST International off guard, catch them off guard. But I wonder if they sense it. Because this is classic Echo that we're seeing. Oh, Golden Staff already built up for that Claude.
Concealed by Hodge.
Oh.
All right, they forced karltzy back, though.
Yeah, forced to use the Detonus Welcome just to dash
Stay out,
through
yeah.
that wall. Big resources utilized. But Sanford, unshakable, not moving from that shrub.
All right, luckily, if you have a canceled Detonus Welcome and you get it in, it does come up cooldown much faster.
Yeah,
So,
but BLACKLIST seem to be
Oh,
running.
Edward goes in with a final slash, and now he's in
Shit.
trouble. karltzy gets taken down. Sanford has the hard guard.
He's
They're
on.
looking for anybody to find
Sanford.
UA. Gets a done.
And
Okay,
Benny
goes down anyway.
Wala,
But
yung
now
Benny
still
Cutie na.
fighting for
Oh,
Echo
Benny.
on the
Ang
run.
sakit ni
Oheb
Oheb,
is
bro.
unstoppable as he
Shit.
gets a
May-
maniac.
yan ah.
And this is massive for
Oh,
BLACKLIST.
yan, Oheb, pwede,
Echo
pwede
goes
QT
into
din
damage
niya.
control mode. They need to save themselves
Yan,
where they
bro.
can, and with just Benny Cutie standing,
Yan sila eh.
Blacklist does nothing less
Ba,
than take
Oheb versus Benny
advantage
Cutie
of
to,
that
ah.
win. 3.5k ahead. Huge Lord scored. Now they're going to turn the map red. Echo are reeling.
The Filipino sniper is stone cold. And Omega's hopes of making it to the playoffs might have shattered in front of them as Blacklist have this lead. Sensui stolen a purple buff away from karltzy. Remember, Blacklist just needs that one game win to make it into the playoffs. And Oheb, with a maniac, might have just done it for Echo, for Blacklist. But Echo is still holding on.
Ladies and gentlemen, there but stands 2 turrets and a base from Blacklist and the playoffs.
Oh, final slash going to be used again.
Oh,
karltzy getting taken down in an
2-0
instant
Echo.
from
Let's do
Oheb.
this, 2-0.
And now marching down the mid lane.
We
They
need
see
Omega in the
victory in
playoffs.
their sights. They see the playoffs there.
Oh,
but
boost.
look at the damage. It's not going to be enough. They
Sayang.
lost their jungler. They get the shields and the mid turret down. They still have the
Okay.
Lord marching
Angela
down
yan,
the
Angela.
top side.
Angela Clog
Wow,
dyan.
they just strong
They can defend
armed
it,
that
they can
turret.
defend it.
No minions, no nothing.
Dependable,
It's
bro,
just JP
dependable.
and Benny left in the base.
They still have a Lord.
Still waiting it out. Blacklist
Kaya.
wants to set
shit.
victory and they'll get it.
The base.
1
Oh,
point
shit,
is all
Omega,
they
laglag.
needed. And Blacklist will secure their spot to the playoffs.
Pasok na Omega. Ay, pasok na Blacklist. Omega,
The
ay,
agents
Blacklist just secured
Force game 3
playoffs.
and have made themselves welcome to the season 13 playoffs. Blacklist
siya,
are
pasok
moving
na.
forward.
Guys, pasok na
You
ang
can
Blacklist.
hear the agents. The gauntlet is completed. And Omega's hopes have been snapped away from
Sayang.
them. As the code breakers have finally broken the playoffs code, they
I
are
want
still
Omega.
in this 10, 11,
want Omega
12,
to
now in
qualify.
the season in a row.
Because I want to see
One game,
Jackno
1 point.
That's
in
it.
MC.
Scored. Looking back
Again.
at how Echo tried to ride off of momentum and just snowball into the victory and force Blacklist into submission did not work. Blacklist stood their ground and drafted a very well-rounded lineup, and here they just punished what Echo was trying to do. Amazing work. Amazing work.
It's
Kill
it's
one,
tough.
baby.
This is the kill one. This
Kill
is the
one.
most. This is the most significant game 2 we've seen in a while.
I was gonna say, think about it. A bunch of agents out there in the world and a barangay out there in the world.
Our heart goes out to Barangay though. This is
Yep.
this makes history. Again, Reptar, you counted out how many times Blacklist have made it back into the playoffs picture after their fallout in season 9. But now, one is wondering what it must be like for Smart Omega. But for now, let's give our roses to the one and only Kiel Soriano, Oheb, the MVP for game 2.
Lupit nito ah.
Kill one, baby.
Sayang
On that
Omega
Nathan.
nga.
They said they needed one. Oheb said,
Lintik ka,
I'll give
Big
y'all
Plapa,
4.
nagtatagalog
I'll
ka
give y'all
pala,
a maniac to
pinapa-English
get
pa
us
ako.
that one. 9, 2, and 4 for this Nathan. And how he played this again.
Tatagalog ka pala, Big Plapa
Never-losing
eh.
threat
Nagtagalog
of
ka na
being
sa
dove
sana.
on by a Yuzon, by a
Pinapa-English pa ako.
Claude.
Akala
And
ko
that looked like
nag-i-English
that
ka
was the
rin.
job of Benny Cutie and JP, the Angela Claude combo. You
Kaya
were the
nga
ones
eh.
to look
Late
for
nila
the
nilabas si
Nathan.
Chaco.
And
Sayang.
once that
putya.
Nathan got picked up here by Blacklist International, you could sense
Gusto
it
ko lang
already.
makita
You
ulit si
can
Chaco
feel
sa
it
MSC.
coming. The looming
Dudurugin
victory
na lahat ng mga
happened.
Indo.
They just needed to pull it
Saka
off.
mga
And
ibang
by
region.
God Almighty, Oheb pulled it off.
Sayang.
With how he played this, his positioning here was
Siguro,
key and
ano,
his survivability.
kung pinasok
Him
nila
being
agad si
able to
Andorio,
time that entropy
saka si Chaco.
during key moments. He would not have the perfect
Oh,
game.
si
There were
Chaco
times
nga
he
kasi
would
si
get picked
si Andorio
off.
pinasok
Twice
na nila
even.
eh.
There were times
Oh,
where he
taglish
couldn't
nga
join
lang.
in the fight.
Taglish
to be
na lang
able
kasi
to
may
deal
mga
the damage.
nanonood din tayong
But one thing
international
that
eh.
he did was be one of the nightmares for Benny Cutie
Ako
to
naman.
deal with. Because when Benny Cutie would be diving and trying to get Oheb down, just one hit of that skill would be able to burst down Benny Cutie and make Benny Cutie think twice about going in. You
Mga
here,
nanonood
going
tayong
over
taga
the he takes a bunch of
India,
damage, forcing him to go back.
Indonesia,
Oheb and Blacklist International,
all
keeping
around
their
the world.
formation tight, was able
Yan lang,
to get a
konti viewers
maniac
natin.
out of that situation. And here in the mid lane, again, you got to feel for karltzy here. The draft of Echo meant the pressure is on the barracks to be the tank, to be the frontliner, to be the quote-unquote roamer for Echo. But even if how tanky a barracks could be, you're just going to be sitting there and looking. Guys, I'm doomed. And that's what happened to karltzy. And that's what Haji and Edward made the most out of. The Edith and the Arlott, every time they saw the Barretts, once they finally had a substantial lead, they were like, hey, let's burst him down. And they did.
I'll tell you, the turning point for me, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers at home, was when Oheb almost single-handedly sent back Sanford, Benny, and JP. That was a big dog move.
Oh, that's the Nathan for you, right? I feel like he had a
Pero angas din, no?
in this game.
Palagan sila ng Golden ngayon.
Now that they've gotten themselves, I feel like with this and how it unfolded, now they can at least, of course they want to win the series still, but they can relax a little bit. There's a little bit of relaxation that can happen now. They've secured that slot.
Yeah. And BLACKLIST International looking back at the items here. I like the approach of Yue going for the necklace of Durance quickly, then rushing the winter truncheon.
Oni kasi medyo hindi pa ako
prioritize defense more. Because of this Vexana playing an important role for the side of BLACKLIST International as one of your main damage dealers alongside that Nathan, you want to prioritize your survival.
PH, hindi pa ako masyadong
so you were deciding to just go for that winter before he goes for his second damage item, meant more chances for BLACKLIST International to win the fight by dealing out damage and by dealing out the most important thing that BLACKLIST needs from the Vexana, the control with the cursed, not the cursed blast, but the deathly grasp, the first skill to get those Terrifies off, and that's what would throw Echo off their game in terms of the team fighting. Looking back at the stats damage.
Guys, please like the stream. Thank you.
3,000 onto karltzy. And that's why we here at the desk, we're skeptical.
Game 3, game 3.
Once you see the line of a BLACKLIST, especially the
na
pass of Edith, was so good. Because now you have sources of frontline that Echo need to deal with. The Baksha, the Arlott, and this Edith. Well, Echo will only have 2. The Barretts that got melted down quickly, and Yu Zhong that's really just there to set up and petrify. Yes, in a way you could think of him as like a frontliner, but he's not a sturdy frontliner compared to like something what an Edith can dish out that can also deal magic damage. That was the key here for BLACKLIST International. They needed to pull off a magic trick, and they did it with a lot of magic damage. They did it with an Edith, they did it with a Nathan, and they did it with a Vexana. Yue also had a tremendous game here, being able to dish out the controls and the damage that would tell Echo you cannot fight the team fight that you want to have.
Looking at Yue's heat map, it's representative of BLACKLIST's.
Guys, nakita niyo yung post ko sa Facebook page ko.
They tried to cheese out BLACKLIST when they were up against the ropes.
It's just something I want to do real quick. Okay. Kiel1, this one's for you. You said you love the buko juice. We got one for you, bro.
Lapit,
this
no?
one's for you.
Why is it on our desk?
Kailan kaya ako ma-interview, no?
He's holding my coconut.
Oh, that's yours?
Dating Miss Universe yata yun eh.
How come you got a pretty big coconut? The last time I had one, it wasn't this big.
I just got to make sure it's nice and heavy.
Oh, all right.
I completely forgot what I was going to say. Never mind. Let's snap back into game number 3 as we prep, because again, now the gloves are off, pal. It's down to this. Echo need to secure this to be able to make sure they don't need to go into the playoffs. BLACKLIST, they're just happy to be of service. They just want to put on a good show because they have secured the playoffs. We are but 5 minutes away from game 3 resuming, and I'm wondering how y'all are doing. I'm hoping y'all are enjoying so far, because if you tried something like Echo did in this game, in game number 2, then I bet you're looking at a lost star. Because very few teams can pull that off. I'm pretty sure even here Echo's like, guys, that we could have done better.
Yeah, you guys were very skeptical about the Angela being picked up, of course, in that for JP, and it showed. It showed there was obviously a struggle there, but I just think that deadly combination of all the CC and the durability that was on the lineup from BLACKLIST International worked out so well, and they executed it perfectly.
Yep. Right before we get into the matchup, let's hear from the Buko Juice connoisseur himself. It's Kiel1 Oheb in this short video.
Siguro yung makapag-champion sa
Kita ko lots puti.
Champion siguro ng MPL tsaka MSC. Yan, okay na ako dun. Ang inspirasyon ko ngayong season is yung family ko and teammates ko. Kasi sila yung tumutulong sa akin sa lahat ng mga challenges ko sa buhay.
The ever-elusive mid-season cup. The only one that BLACKLIST have yet to get their hands on.
The mid-season cup. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait to just see that unfold in general. We all know how big of an event that's going to be. Not just talking about the prize pool, of course, but just overall. And I can't wait to see exactly what the result of our playoffs is. But first, like you mentioned, we have to know still what matters here for this game number 3 ahead of us is Echo.
That's right.
They want to avoid.
Suddenly,
It shifted, right? Like,
Yeah.
the weight is now on the Orcas.
Yeah. Now what turns into this is, whoa, did not expect
That's
that.
the
and
shift.
I've forgotten everything I wanted to say this
I'm
time.
sorry, that's a physical manifestation of.
No,
so
but
that,
it's
so
true.
that people understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that y'all understand now, from looking at what happens at the top and at the bottom of the standings, now all
Ayos
eyes are
suot
at
ba,
the top
suot?
with AP Bren, Onyx, Echo, RSG, who will skip the play-ins round, the top 3 slots, who will get the top 1 slot also. So the changing of the narrative, the changing of the focus of the drama of the league in the last 2 days is still really spicy.
They're all still in the running. Again, all 4 still. Because again, even if Echo does lose game 2, which they did, and they eventually, some way, somehow win game 3, then they still get the 3 points. They are still in the running. They are still going to lock that in. So now, a look back at how experimental they got.
Yeah.
How trivial their approach was to game 2. Again, that Romangela and a slew of standard picks. But again, that linchpin, that one hero pick and their approach changed definitely as they went up against Blacklist's just fundamental lineup. Again, maybe that's why Oheb was so enabled, how he was so empowered, is because everyone just had the hero they were comfortable with.
Yeah. And looking for the side of Echo, I mean, we can look back and say they should have done this, done that. If they're ever going to go down this approach, I want to see them consider, again, what the possibility that we posed, flexing that Angela into the mid lane instead,
Yep.
and then packing a different roamer that could be a little bit more aggressive, if ever Echo wants to go down this exact same route. Because Echo, if they still want to get this win, and of course they need those 3 points, Blacklist International, I'd want to say momentum's in their favor. Like the air of MPL Arena right now just screams Agents win, Blacklist win. So Echo will need to draft a lineup that can be aggressive from the get-go.
I feel like with that too, when we talk about lineup draft, what we had, again, for Echo, I think that was a very one conditional lineup where it was like, we have to hit this momentum, we have to hit the snowball right away, otherwise things are going to fall apart. That's exactly what happened there. So for game 3, I think, of course, they go with a different strategy here. We see how that happens. We see that Blacklist this time is going to be on that red side. It's funny enough because earlier we said that too.
Yeah.
They have a higher percentage on that red side.
Yep.
So they're going for it.
This just shows that for Blacklist to perform, for them to be the peak form of what they could be in Season 13, they have to be comfortable. They have to be ready for it. And here in game number 2, again, the aforementioned draft, the lineup, the composition was great. Now, sidewise, again, they pick red. They're able to do that. They're able to assemble such a lineup much, much better. And so, again, just add a little garnish. Again, they are here to deny Echo the no play-in spot and to just, again, relish in the fact that they made it through the playoffs.
I'm curious because maybe I'm sure a lot of people know this, but some people, what is the advantage for maybe those out there that don't know of avoiding that play-in slot? Is just an extra day of rest.
Extra day of rest, a chance at, again, it's automatic 2 lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's automatic 2
You
lives.
skip that play-ins, and you are but 2 best-of-5 wins away from Riyadh.
From
Yeah.
Riyadh. That mid-season cup.
2 series. If you
And-
skip that.
Yeah, it's a really comfortable slot. And especially if you miss out on the play-ins round, and Echo at this point can't go lower than top 4.
Right.
If they finish at 4th, they're going to have to go up against the team that goes through the gauntlet. And if they survive that, their next match after will be the top 1 placer of the league.
Again, the gauntlet. That's what it means now. And we're maybe a few weeks away from that. And let's face what we have right in front of us. Game 3 between Blacklist International and Echo. Echo on the play. Batting out the Lo Yi and the Minotaur. Blacklist taking out the Matilda.
I see lots of
And the Roger. Benicute had an amazing performance with the Roger game 1.
Yep.
Gentlemen, I have to admit,
It is in despair
I feel
that I see the fondest
uncomfortable
hopes.
with the fact that Nolan is no longer in demand. Nolan, Joy, all of these fallen heroes. Guinevere, we miss you.
Did he really get affected that much? Did the Nolan get that affected by the patch?
Got affected so hard he traveled universes again.
So he traveled once again.
Left
Yeah.
Layla all as an adult.
It'll be funny if we start seeing Layla coming back. Ooh, despite all that, Blacklist, I think Blacklist still acknowledging that, that Angela could have been good, just
Oh,
a
no.
different pairing. But Echo, they're like, okay, we're going to rush that Harith.
Because of that.
Get the Minotaur Fred here would be good.
The Fred.
Oh, and
Banned
Minotaur's
out.
banned. Right, yeah.
Oh, they
So
get the-
Arlot Fred.
Fred Arlo. Do they go Vex here? They can go.
They can hold out the mid laner.
Who said there
They
are no
want to.
shortcuts in life?
Whoa! I was surprised that they'd actually go for the chip, considering that they banned out the Lo Yi. So usually when I saw that, I was thinking that, they're probably not going to go for the chip anymore.
Because remember what they said in their interview after facing again? They're just like, yeah, just ban it.
Yeah.
Ban the chip.
Ban the chip, please. So they go ahead and pick it up. With a Faramis, great responses. So Blacklist International, going back to the last time we saw a chip, I believe it was TNC. Us in the desk, we were mentioning this idea of Chip. He's honest in a way that if you see him alone in the objective and you're facing up against him, you know what he's going to do is simple. Just drop down the shortcut ultimate on someone and then just wait for the team to arrive. And you just have to be ready to deal with that. So if that's going to be the approach here for Echo so far, I'm liking the picks of Blacklist International to deal with that. Fredrin, Arlot, and the Faramis, they can respond really quickly and have great tools to be able to deal with the members of Echo coming through. But if JP plays this how he played this last time, being unpredictable, hard to read, then Blacklist might have problems.
And I think Blacklist have to cover up their bases. The Valentina is still out there. They want to make sure that that gets banned out here.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I was actually just thinking about it.
There is
How would that
shade.
work?
Ooh, I'd want to see Poke, though.
Oh, no. Echo wants the Valentina.
Yeah. I'd want to see them pick up a Novaria in this case.
Rather?
Yeah. Because right now, Echo, if they go Valentina, that's all well and good. They still ban it?
Again, it's not a reasonable ban.
Okay, yeah, because you don't want to give like the Final
Exactly.
Slash, the Nether Realm. All
You
right.
already folded the map in half, and then
Yeah.
you have twice the life bars.
That's true, that's true.
Okay, here we go. Last ban from the Orcas. There's the CC, who, by the way, has been a sleeper pick. Like, she's good when she comes out, but she's always usually banned.
Yeah. Odd. That pickup's, wow. Okay, the Bruno.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, Bach should pick up here. Echo, Novaria. Oh, yeah. Oh, Eve.
Whoa.
All right.
Debut.
Oh, Eve!
She back.
All right, there's a murmur
Yeah.
down the grapevine of a burst Eve build
Yeah.
going around.
This is the response, classic response to Faramis comps and Bruno comps. So if I'm Blacklist, they could even consider picking up a utility type of roamer for Haji if they want to. Because, again, we saw the really good matchup between the Arlot and the Yuzhong. But no, Benedetta is what they go for. Okay.
They're going to cut right through that box.
Yeah. Dive it. Petrify that Eve.
Amazing.
Great decision by Blacklist to go for the Ben instead.
Echo rolling out like the TVA, teleporting these time boxes all around the land of Dawn. But
What's a TVA? TVA?
the TVA,
TVA.
that's right.
What's that?
I forgot what the acronym means. It's from that show Loki
Oh.
on Netflix.
The time
Variation Authority.
Yeah, time variation authority.
That's the one. That's the one.
Good to know. Good to know.
All right, here we go. Game 3. Gloves are off. No holds barred. Blacklist are just playing for style points, honestly.
Yeah.
And they're also denying Echo, again, the no play-ins route, which is, again, very, very elusive, very much valuable. Looking at these lineups, I'll tell you, that Eve debut, it's not as bad as the Roam Angela. In my books, I actually like this.
Yeah. I'm glad the Eve pops up here, but you guys watching once again, you can let us know who is going to win the series for a chance at the 1,000 diamonds. 4 winners. Hashtag BLCK for Blacklist. Hashtag Echo. Don't forget your user IDs and your server IDs as well.
We need to see the emblems that we have, or at least the talents that they went for. Okay, concussive blast there by JP. Faster wave clears. 2 concussive blasts on this Baksha chip, which I like. Means Echo can be a little bit more aggressive early on with their lineup, or already they can be aggressive. Just magnified with those little bursts of magic damage that you can dish out. 2 lethal ignitions on the side of Blacklist International. So their version of a little bit of aggressive poking as well. So you're seeing here the adjustments dealt from the Eve with her first skill now being able to clear minion waves a little bit quicker and better. So laning wise for Eve, not that much of a nightmare anymore. You can see how fast Sanji's clearing, but the cost is mana. He'll frequently have to go back to base to get mana back.
You know, now that we've seen the Farsa pop up again. Now we see Eve. Hey, you know, I feel like we're going back in time ourselves.
It just shows how healthy the metagame is. The fact that teams are willing to experiment. The fact that teams are so unpredictable. Wait, here we go.
Sensui gonna get knocked up a little bit. Has the back of
Oh,
Yue.
shit.
Not
Oh my
big
God.
enough as he goes down to the first blood. Edward as well. Cuts in, cuts out. Haji, though, gonna flicker forward. Goes in with vengeance, looking for karltzy next. A flicker from Yue, drags him back to Stampede. Picks up the kill as well. Blacklist fights back.
Thank you very much, says Blacks International.
Parehas eh, parang parehas sa akin eh.
Which
Kasi may
jeopardizes
usok
their
pa rin
turtle
eh.
take. Yeah.
And if people
Kaso
are
may
wondering where
Benedict
Sanji
eh.
was in that fight,
May
as an
Benedict,
even
pero
this
nasa kanila Harit
scenario,
eh.
bro, him going there would be useless. Now that he's level 4, he'll have a little bit more use for Echo, like this.
Drops down the box on Edward's head here. Goes in, cuts out, will survive. Sensui grabbing the turtle.
Interesting positioning by karltzy. Y'all saw that.
Yeah, I thought he'd be using the shield unity. Maybe it was on cooldown. Get a little bit closer.
Once bitten, twice shy, unless he was thinking ahead. Where did he use the retribution on just now? The Little Wanderer?
Yeah, it looks like it. He just used the, but
Just now it came.
yeah, just now.
It was definitely fresh off when the turtle came up, and he was so far from the turtle too.
All right, that'll be a head scratcher for a while. So let's look at what else Echo can do in the map to be able to get this back. See JP utilizing Y walk to rotate a little bit faster.
Yep, which is on a 20-second cooldown now fixed, so he can actually time his rotations.
Yes, and Echo would want to, if I had any word at all of what Echo would want to do, well, focus on the gold lane because he can leave the Yuzong and the Benedetta alone and then just make sure that the Bruno stops scaling and your Harith scales faster.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, down in the bottom lane, though. karltzy's going to crash down. Looking for 2. RWM on top of it as well, all under the turret. Edward there to help out in the fight. No one dropping just yet. Sanford will get away for now, but Edward still on the hunt. Will finally get the kill. Meanwhile, in the jungle, it's Benny Cutie to fall on top of it.
Just about a minute ago, it was karltzy was a little too far off. Now, underneath tier 1 gold lane, Echo seems to be a little in too deep. What's going on?
Edward's back under the turret. Goes in with a final slash and looking for more. Finally gets taken down, but they lose 2 for Echo.
Bro, Edwards Benedetta right now has been playing this so well. It's like the
Yeah,
confidence
very
boost
cute.
knowing that
Ano,
alright, they're playing up against a lineup
Yuzong
that
tsaka
I'm gonna
Benedetta
shine with.
mag-ano
He's
nga
up,
dyan.
I'm up
Tas
against an
late
Eve.
game dyan yung
Only
Harit ni
finally,
Benny
that's
Cutie.
food. Just use one electro final blow, petrify, or even just save the petrify for later on. He's been winning duels 3v1, 2v1, and being able to set things up for Blacklist International in terms of getting the vision and the aggressive rotations.
It's going to be difficult for Echo to climb out of this 2,000 gold lead early on, 4 minutes in. Second turtle up, the dance all ready. It's about 4 members apiece. Turtle at half health.
Well, see how they go with it. JP dropping down the shortcut, waiting for the rest of the squad to come in. We're going to drive them further back. Yue has to flicker out there to Benny Rum. Benny Cutie now joining the fight. Flash though, he goes. Yue takes out JP. Edward on the run. They're still going to be looking for more. Yue on the backside. karltzy a hit away. Edward goes in, finds the slash, gets another. Sanford will fall. Echo is dismantled. Sanji has to run, and now Blacklist will take the turtle.
Team fighting excellence on display from Blacklist International. There's a reason why they call this Blacklist iteration the most aggressive yet. They've won team fight after team fight after team fight and secured 2 turtles 5 minutes in.
Oh my God, we were just gushing over how Edward's been playing so well with this Benedetta, and he pulled it off again. But that was a great response by Blacklist International to that team fight. Incredibly unfortunate timing. The moment Benny Cutie said, all right, I'm gonna hop into this portal, finally join in the fight, he gets final slashed back. Even though Echo were fighting really well under that Zaman force, and it looked like they could have been able to survive, again, the difference was they couldn't catch that Benedetta.
And the fact that they were trying to chase something that was so elusive
Yeah.
allowed for Blacklist to just blast them. Again, it's the fact of target acquisition being so easy for Blacklist and for Echo being so difficult made that huge gap. And that's what we're looking at right now. 5,000 gold ahead in under 6 minutes. Just about 5,000 as well. So 1,000 per minute.
Man, UA's timing as well in the Netherrealm really changing a lot of these fights already early on, because when Echo thinks they find their window to go in, even with the shortcut from JP, he's there. And also, just like you mentioned, Haji, man, what a game to be able to find these angles on the final slashes.
Yeah, and again, that's what we were talking about. The lineup of Blacklist, even though we haven't seen that big turnaround shortcut play from Echo, it's just that these 3 picks that they prioritize, the Fredrin, Arlott, and Faramis, are heroes that can handle the entry of the opposing team with a shortcut.
Are we going to get the flicker down now? Still
Ganda
fighting
ng
out
ulti
under
ng
the
Evo.
turret. Tier 1 has to
Wala,
go
team.
down. karltzy on the
Yo.
backside alongside Sanford. Zaman Force going to be
Oh,
gone.
tangina.
Going to fall.
Very
Still
cutie,
battling
sayaw
here.
lang.
Call on
Sayaw lang,
Haji.
very
Haji
cutie.
still alive. Boston
Whoa.
waves out. Tries to get out of
Haji.
there, but he finally gets
Ay,
taken
Haji.
down. That's 2 that fall for Blacklist. A double for karltzy.
Echo's first team fight won clearly here in the 7-minute match. And so far, Edward just made the most of that absence, taking a tier 2.
Aggression by Blacklist, but Echo there, it looked like they were just, it's like they said, guys, we need something. We need to get something before this first turtle, and they got it. 2 kills, but still the gap is significant this early into the game, favoring Blacklist International. A massive swing by Echo wouldn't be surprising, but it would be risky.
I mean, it's going to be tough. Sanford not having his Black Dragon form at the time of turtle spawning allows for Blacklist to take it again, 100% so far in game number 3. And right now, I believe that the best practice for Echo would be to just look for something else.
Best XP laner talaga.
Not
Grabe
to
talaga
fight
si
against
Edward.
Blacklist. You're still outgunned despite damage difference being this much for Benny.
Edward o Sanford,
The
sino
results
sa'yo?
don't say so.
BLACKLIST.
Okay, there's the
You know, patay
shortcut.
na.
Oh, everybody
Bukas yung
coming
dragon,
through into the
putang ina.
Netherrealm. They go.
Shit.
RWM going to be dropped as well. Oheb going to fall. Edward goes in with a lethal final blow.
Benny's
And
here.
we'll find it. JP still battling it
Eto
out.
na, yung
Sensui
Harit, boy
joining
pa yung
the
Harit
fight.
eh.
Trying to
Harit
hold down
tumugod
the
yan,
further
tingnan mo.
side. They get the stun
Kaso
down.
hindi siya
But
nakakaano sa
karltzy
Fredrin eh.
now falls as well.
Oh.
2 for 1 so
Yun
far.
lang.
Make it another. And
Natutunan
3
siya eh.
down for Echo.
Di ba?
So
Natutunan si
many
Benny Cutie ng
tanky
Fredrin, kaya
members
di siya
on the side of
makapagsayaw.
Blacklist. The long team fight
By the way,
sustain that
guys,
they
nag-upload
have,
ako
that
ng
even
video.
though this Harith,
Watch na lang.
just with the Feather of Heaven and Starlium Scythe is
Ay,
already
Jerome.
dealing respectable damage
Nag-upload ako ng
because of the
video.
lead Blacklist
Watch na lang.
has. Even though Echo, they made the right call. It's just unfortunate
Watch
they
na lang
couldn't take
mamaya.
down the members of Blacklist. So now, Echo, for the next few minutes, can't do that. They have to be more patient with who they try to take down.
Oh, and now karltzy threading the needle. Again, at the time of that engage, 5,000 gold ahead. It's like Echo tried to jump scare a full-on Marine.
Yeah.
A Marine armed with a minigun, 2 pistols, and a bayonet knife. Like, why would you do that? I mean, yes, you might just, but he is going to retaliate, and that's what Blacklist did.
Even though Echo got Oheb down, they got the gold laner down. At what cost? Then is the question. And the
Mamaya yan,
cost
mamaya
was
din
too
ako.
high. And Echo paid the price. How else they can turn this around
Ang
again
tingin,
with the
ang
lineup that
tingin
they're
ko,
up against?
kulang sa damage siyang
It's gonna
ano,
be tough for the Orcas.
ang Echo.
And Blacklist
No,
might just
kulang
be
sa damage
riding
siyang
into
Echo, no?
a reverse sweep. But still too early to tell. But they do
Late
have
na
the
nga
lead.
yan.
Even at this point,
Bilis
too
mag-flip.
risky to
Late
contest
na nga
this
yung
first
flip na yan
lord.
eh.
Blacklist
Tapos kanina
on
pa yan eh.
dance. Positioning-wise, you can never discount Echo. Again, they have JP in the vicinity.
Hirap kasi, ang
And,
pinakamahirap kasi sa
with his
pag-click
passive,
ng thumbnail.
karltzy as
Totoo
well
lang.
in range.
Thumbnail tsaka
right
title.
here in these waves. I think Blacklist knows that anytime, anywhere, Echo might just
Hirap, wala
pop
akong
up.
maisip eh.
That's why they're also very, very cautious when it comes to this Lord take.
Edward, 406 oh. Kailangan nila shutdown yan.
Gonna find them out here, JP and karltzy. Obviously, while
need
the
to
rest
shut
of Echo
down
making their way
Edward.
down bottom again. They might be looking for Haji. There's the final slash. They want to
You know.
initiate the fight. Into the
And
back line he
Yuso.
goes. looking for this Lord fight to break out. RW going to drop down as well into the Zaman Force. NetherRealm already going to be expended. Blacklist on the run, it looks like here. Now Haji, though, and karltzy will get the Lord, and they find Edward as well. The trade, and now UA goes in with the same play. They get Benny Cutie, they get another one. Oheb looking for more, he's happy with the triple.
That was a Pyrrhic victory from Echo. It cost them a lot, but they got what they wanted. Scored by the Orcas.
Oh, Echo. Again, the question was them, at what cost? Yes, they got the Lord, as you mentioned, Leo, but Yue and Oheb chasing down the members of Echo alongside Sensui. What a call there by Blacklist to say, we can still punish this. If we let them go back and go home, they can push out.
Pepetrify si
Blacklist is still
Sanford.
smothering Echo. Look at the difference between the two gold laners. Massive lead still for the Bruno, almost 2,000 and still climbing. And the real-time win rate climbing as well for Blacklist, 64 over Echo's 36.
Truth be told, I don't blame Echo with the way they've been playing the past few minutes. Again, one of their main strengths is the shock value. The fact that you can engage when most
kaya kailangan
not to.
ano talaga,
kill
muna nila yung Paramis. O kaya,
and again, I would reckon
ipa-burn nila yung ult ng Paramis.
Here just now, I think it's what they should have done.
Ma-burn yung ult ng Paramis, saka sila mag-ano.
This could have been 7K ahead at 12
Mag-flash.
minutes.
O kaya pitasin nila.
But because of what they did and the way that they've been playing so far,
Kasi kanina, tingnan mo, di ba?
Naka-petrify
si Usong, si Sanford ng madami. Naka-ult naman yung Paramis. Wala din.
Still have Blacklist respect what they're doing.
Even when you saw that fight unfold before, Lord was even secured, you saw that Echo still has good fighting power.
Yeah.
And it's only going to continue to scale as the game goes on. So we'll see. It is a 5K gold lead for Blacklist International, but that's what I'm talking about. As the items come in, there's the Holy Crystal for Benny Cutie. That's going to help.
Ikaw, big flop, ano sa tingin mo?
And there was something mentioned earlier. The combination of the Zaman Force plus the real-world manipulation is something Blacklist
Why si physical nila, pati yung
considering
ano.
that Sanji just built up the Blood Wings, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to take down this.
Yung skill ba ng Baksha?
The power spike
Physical
just
yun,
get
di ba?
what they're looking for. But
Ang
the thing
magic
with
sa
Eve
Baksha
is
yung ano
she
ult niya
continuously deals damage. The fact that now she also has a glowing wand up against the tanky members of Blacklist
Magic ba yan?
International. And don't forget, glowing wand is like DHS.
Oh, hindi. Ibig sabihin, magic yung Baksha.
With damage
Yung
over
ult
time.
niya, yung ulti
So,
niya.
Sanji has the
Yung
items that he
first
has.
skill niya.
He just needs
Ay,
to
second
somehow
skill
blend
niya ba yun?
everything really
Yung
well
ano?
with the rest of Echo. And Echo will need
Magic ba lahat dyan?
really
Hindi ko
great
napapansin
teamwork to just layer their
Hindi kasi ako
abilities
nagbabaksa
so well,
masyado.
their ultimate so well, that the NetherRealm will feel like an afterthought. But you has been so good.
Which I think is the icing on the cake. The fact that they're surprising Blacklist.
Grabe, Fredrin, no?
enables that.
Kahit
It's
Harit
clear, it's
nahihirapan
clear.
eh.
That's what they want to do. Sword in
Sipin
the
mo,
box. That's what they want to do.
sayaw-sayaw yung
Blacklist
ano.
allow it. If they get the entry, if Echo
Harit.
gets it in, then
Eh,
maybe
puta,
they
may
can
Fred
shove
Ring.
Blacklist into
Totoo
submission.
lang.
Now, Lord spawned already. Lower quarter of the map. Teams have all of their battle spells, all of their ults. So now it's just a matter of
Pag etong Blacklist,
Echo needs to clear
nakapasok
out
pa to ng MSC, ewan ko na lang talaga.
Blacklist is able to start it up already. Lord, a fourth of its health gone.
Cinderella run talaga
Making
sila.
quick work of this Lord here. They do have the shortcut available. JP kind of just holding on to that, but Echo going to rotate themselves after dealing with the waves. Holding on to that Lord, less than half health. Blacklist International knows as well. There's the reset, though.
And you see how Blacklist are actually positioning themselves against that beacon where Yue is nearby. They're also watching out for a flank, which is why it's hard for JP to flank it, because that's a Faramis. Yes, you can say that the Faramis you can burst down quickly, but that's going to be the NetherRealm still available for them. So great positioning by Blacklist to deal with this chip.
Lord at a tenth of its health. Here we go.
There's the final
Ah,
slash initiating
tangina.
the fight. Sam
Puta, punit agad
just
siya.
can't do anything.
Natunaw,
Gets
boy.
deleted. Edward jumps in
Wala
with a
niya.
like the final blow. Sensui will secure the Lord. karltzy on the run. Sanji
lang,
there to
naka-ulti
keep
yung
him at
Sanji.
bay.
Kasi patay na naman
But
ni
the
karltzy
objective secured by Blacklist.
karltzy forced to use that retribution early. You heard
Hirap
that
nga talaga.
sound.
Dapat talaga
And once that
nag-MM na lang
retribution
sila,
was done,
no?
there was only less than around 500 HP for it, and that was
Dapat
straight for
MM sila.
Sensui.
He was a level down.
Yeah.
Nakaban yung Roger, no?
Between these two heroes at this
Nakaban
point.
yung Roger, no?
And now
Hindi
Blacklist,
na pinahawak si Benny Cutie
they're
ng
going to take
Roger,
this
eh.
mid inhibitor.
We'll get that mid inhibitor. Lord making its way up top. We'll see if they can fully expose the base here of Echo. They're trying to hold it up front. There's the charge coming through.
Yeah.
Now for Blacklist.
Oo, tinatot
What more
lang
do
ni
they
Fredrin.
want?
Great high ground defense for Echo, though.
Yep. I think they're going to go ahead and probably not force the fight unless it's really
Kahit
Haji
ako,
that
ipag-pre-train
actually
ako
wants
dyan.
to, but they're going to
Hindi
take
ko
that
lalayuan
disco
ng
round
Harit
now,
dyan.
ballooning the
Titikitan ko lang Harit dyan.
lead 9,000 ahead.
Ako na
Safe for
titirahin yan.
BLACKLIST to just let this go. That's a huge take off of just a single Lord to be able to push down and penetrate mid and top. So they're happy to wait for this third Lord now, spawning lower quarter once more.
All right. So, Enchanted Talisman was the fourth item that the Eve eventually went for. That was an
Predrin na maraming
Three, so
ano, no?
four
Crowd
awesome
control.
He
Sa
chased the
mga ano.
cooldown reduction, but he still doesn't have that big power spike that you'd want from an Eve. Let's see if it's
No?
going to be a Divine Flavor or Holy Crystal last rim. Edward can afford to do this as a Benedetta. And this Benedetta that's rocking damage items purely. He has a Rose.
Kahit ako, pag naglalaro ko ng Predrin
has a little bit of that sustain, that tankiness from the magic
Basta
damage
makalapit
being
ka
dealt
lang sa
out.
hero,
The
di na
majority of
makakalayo
what he
sa'yo.
brought out to the table is pure damage. Hunter Strike, Sea Halberd, Malefic
Second
Roar for
skill.
Edward.
Taunt.
It's tough to be
Second
Echo
skill
right
ulit.
now. It's because it's
Taunt
so
ulit.
clear that their
Tangin,
cores
di
are
na
doing
makakaano.
magic damage.
Yeah.
So as long as BLACKLIST build their Radiant Armors, their Athena Shields,
Yes.
Bob's your uncle, man.
Tapos pag binawasang sabay ulti ang kapatay ka.
This time
Tangina.
around, 4K ahead because of that push, that mid and top lane inhibitor. As for
Sino pinaka magaling sa'yo
damage of
mag-pre-train?
all sorts, man. You
karltzy
give them
wise.
so much burst, right? And then you're looking at Oheb and Edward dealing the physical. It's
Sa
different.
akin,
That's why
ano
they've
eh.
been winning all these
Sa akin
battles
siguro yung
so
dalawang
quick.
Yeah, it's a great
magaling na,
mix.
malalakas
That's basically
mag-pre-train yung
what BLACKLIST
dalawang.
has here. You know, given the whole situation,
Wise ako eh.
BLACKLIST International
Ah, sa akin,
position
wise
for
ah.
this next Lord in 30 seconds. The one
Wise
great thing
Predrin.
that Echo can pull
Kita mo
off
naman yung
is
Predrin ni Wise
utilizing
dati,
that
kuya.
box that they have. But so far, so well.
Yung kay
BLACKLIST
Karl
has dealt
naman,
with that really well. I mean, they might lose the next
Parehas lang sila eh. Para sa akin,
but they
parehas lang
flashed
eh.
down really fast on Echo. You saw how
Karl
fast
tsaka
Sanford
Wise.
went down earlier.
Okay, again, that was unfortunate that they found Sanford first.
Yeah.
But what if it is a fair 5v5, right? What if it's a 5v5 that both teams were ready for? We haven't seen that quite just
Kairi
yet.
naman,
Since the last
talagang
time we saw
hirap
that,
pag di
it was
naka-assassin,
about
no?
4,000, 5,000 between. Now at 8,
Yep.
at 17:45, oh, this is tough. Lord already in.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough to get the idea of a true idea of the fair 5v5.
King of
This is
the
a
jungle,
Benedetta on
eh.
the side of BLACKLIST International that can just cut through the formation of Echo.
Yeah, magaling
And you
talaga,
probably think
matalino
what
si Wise din
Echo
maglaro.
has to use but they don't have the Nether Realm. That is why Echo, in terms of
Matalino
the
maglaro,
it's
tsaka
never gonna be
matapang
truly,
maglaro.
quote-unquote, fair for them.
Yun
They
ang
just
ano kay
have two
Wise.
heroes that
Parang
swing
Karl din yan eh.
the team fights favoring BLACKLIST International that they have to face against.
Silang dalawa lang naman
We
ni
saw,
Wise
even though
naglalaban
he
dati
positions
dyan eh.
really well, he's
Ngayon,
dealt the
sino
most
na ba?
damage this game with 61,000 and climbing. It's still gonna be tough for him. And you see him, he's like,
Karl tsaka
this is
sino?
gonna be a good spot for me. Where do I go?
karltzy
Just
pala,
so
oh,
much to watch out for.
karltzy. Ngayon, nasa ngayon.
Cheekily
Pero sa
going
akin,
into that beat bush here. Gonna wait
Puta,
patiently. It does have that
dinalaw niya
shortcut
yung ampas.
available, but they'll let BLACKLIST for now hold down the Lord. They know they have to clear the lanes as well. That's Benny Cutie's job. And for now, it's BLACKLIST International containing
Di
this.
ba malalaman,
Makes it all the more
di ba
difficult
malalaman naman
for
yung pagka
Echo.
nakalapit
Control
ka,
the long lane. Make sure they
Kunyari,
don't
ano
get
ka?
backdoored. They don't get ruined by random minions.
Slot
That's
ka.
still continuing.
malalaman mo kung may kalaban
Three fifths of
sa
the
malapit
top.
sa'yo kasi
Deep
umiilaw yung
into the
second skill
pit.
mo eh.
Sanji and JP
Diba?
controlling these corners, these flanks. BLACKLIST letting go
Alam ko
of
ganun
either
eh.
side. Massive
Kasi
control.
umiilaw
by
yung
the
second
Codebreakers.
skill nun eh.
How they are adjusted
Umiilaw yung dash niya, di ba?
Edward
Kapag may
going
tao
forward
sa
from the
paligid.
wings. This is great
Yun yun
positioning
eh.
right now by
Dapat di niya
BLACKLIST.
na-
That's why Echo cannot find an
Tinalo sa bush yun,
opening.
sayang yung ulti niya eh.
Oh, Sanji can't poke though.
Oo, kahit hindi mo nakikita yun, iilaw yun eh. Parang kay ano, Phobius. Di ba? Kay Phobius kapag ano, may nag-dash kahit di niya nakikita.
Yeah, and you're probably wondering
Ilaw
why
yun
isn't
eh.
Echo pulling the trigger? They're close enough in terms of the goal to fight this out. Well, Oheb's too far. They're looking out for that Bruno and they're looking out for that Faramis.
Oh, another reset, gentlemen. Lord here, back to full health.
Yeah, because of the minion wave
54,000
Echo
HP
can't
po,
push out
tas
that
saglit
rush
lang
either. They're
tinutunaw.
just stuck with clearing.
You're gonna have to just clear.
Yeah, and just wait.
Okay, to be fair, this is the best shape their base has been.
Yep.
Yeah.
No minions have been in. For
Buy
the
time
past
lang yan,
30
nagpo-flow lang yun sa ano eh.
Sanji did
Pag
also
nakita
just
niya
pick up
si,
that divine
ano, si
blade, so
Benedetta, ikaw dapat
he's
ng
gonna be
Echo.
locked in.
Eh kaso nandito rin si
Benny
Benny
Cutie as well,
Cutie sa
clearing
gitna eh.
Edward.
Oh,
Haji
massive.
not gonna be able to land
Ayun,
that
oh.
combination.
Oh.
Okay.
Edward ang mag-ano
Look at
dyan.
him. If ever they commit the shortcut, does BennyQT know or does Echo know that Edward
Oh, nakita nila
will
si,
go for
ano,
the
si Benny
gank
Cutie.
play, the split push
Eh, walang
play?
damage ang ano,
Lord,
Tip
at
lang,
10.
saka Yusong lang.
Looks like they're gonna
Ayun
go
na, malapit na,
go
nagdagot
forward.
eh.
Shortcut gonna be dropped in as well.
tagal.
Sensui will get the Lord, and the fight's gonna break out all into it. Trying to give it down. RWM comes down. BennyQT in the mid
Lugi
lane
sa drop,
still.
Lugi sa drop.
karltzy will go down.
Parang
And
feeling ko
BLACKLIST
Lugi sa drop.
International will cut off Sanford, and they're looking for more. Sanji flickers in,
Oh, that's
but
bad.
the
Oh,
winter
Yui, ano?
truncheon keeps UA alive.
so
Now
big.
Sanji just running
Edward.
from Edward, but they got the march down the mid, and Sanji can't go back to
Sidestep.
base. He bombs, he
Sidestep,
weaves.
boy.
Oh,
Tangina nga lang,
too
makakaligtas
sharp.
pa eh.
And now in the mid lane, down
Uy,
force gonna be used, but
ano to?
BennyQT will go down alongside
JP.
JP, and BLACKLIST International will get the
Putang
wipeout.
ina,
They
ano ba
march
BLACKLIST
down
to?
the mid to win the series in a reverse sweep against Echo.
Ano nangyari doon? Parang feeling ko, ano, dapat ang pinunta ni Yusong doon,
For all
dapat ang pinunta ni
agents
Yusong doon si, ano, no, si
worldwide.
Fredrin, no,
They take
para
down
i-petrify
one of the
niya,
top
no.
dogs of MPL
Dito yun eh,
Philippines.
saan ba yun?
They
Tingnan mo lang,
deny the no
For one down alongside and running Stanford, and they're looking at
Lord.
Ayun, no,
at 10.
di ba nag-dragon siya, oh.
like they're gonna go in,
Dati
go
petrified
forward,
na dito
shortcut gonna be
Fredrin eh.
dropped in as well. Sensui will get the
Oh.
Lord, and the fight's gonna
Kasi
break
pinuntahan
out all
niya yung
into
Yui.
it. Trying to give it down. RWM
Tingnan nyo,
comes
mali ba ako?
down. BennyQT in the mid
Kasi
lane still.
pag-asa nila din yung
karltzy
Lord eh.
will go down. And BLACKLIST International will cut off Sanford.
Diba?
And they're looking for more. Sanji flickers in.
Oh, that's
But
bad.
the
Tingnan nyo.
winter truncheon
You can see here.
Tama ako, no.
Marcus.
Dapat
Echo.
ang pinetrify, ang pinuntahan ni Yusong, yung Fredrin, tapos petrify niya para makuha ni Carl yung Lord.
Coming over.
Hindi niya iyaano si
Sportsmanship at its finest.
Paramis. Kasi Lord na yung pag-asa nila dun eh.
Whew, we knew that today was going to be
Di
here.
bali
We're talking about the weather alone
mamatay si Carl
here.
dun.
And it
Basta
definitely
ma-retry niya
was
lang yung
Echo's
ano,
gonna
yung
take
Lord.
their bow, of course.
Yun na lang yung pag-asa niya
And
dun eh.
for BLACKLIST International, I'm sure we cannot wait to hear from them
Oo,
on
lugi na talaga
where
sila
their
dun.
mental is now,
Kaso
how they're
pumasok pa sa ano
feeling.
eh.
We know there's a
Sa
sigh of relief
Paramis
again
yung
from all the
Yusong eh.
agents around the
Siguro,
world
shot call na
watching.
din.
So
Pero
again,
yun
I know
yung
we still
nakikita
have
ko
more
na
matches ahead of us,
magandang
but
ano.
this to start the
Yun
day
yung nakikita ko
was amazing.
magandang play
Ladies
doon.
and gentlemen, let's throw over to the main stage.
Petrify
Let's hear
si
from
Fredrin.
Box International. They'll be talking to Hans and Mara.
Kuha Lord.
Wow!
Kasi konti na lang yun eh.
All right, agents, let me hear it from you, BLACKLIST.
Then narinig ata tayo kanina.
Congratulations
Patayin
to
muna.
BLACKLIST
Pitasin
International.
muna yung Paramis. Ayun,
Haji
pinitas
doesn't
niya.
Haji. Haji,
Patay.
Haji. Okay, take the mic. Oh my gosh, congratulations on securing the playoff
pinatay
spot.
niya eh.
So itong road na to has been so difficult. It's been very challenging for you guys. Pero you
Pero at
guys
least
showed
nakapasok
up
sila.
when it mattered the most. Ang ganda ng
Playoffs na
pinakita
sila.
nyo today. Gano'n
I like the stream
ka-importante
guys. Thank you.
itong paglaban nyo today, securing the playoffs.
Oo, nakapag ano pa si Yui. Nakita mo ba yun? Ano siya?
Importante
Tawag
na
doon?
ito na to para ano.
Frozen. Ano yun? Frozen
para
tuloy.
secure namin yung
Winter. Ano ba yun?
Uy,
Winter Transition ba yun?
ang seryoso mo.
Oh, Winter Transition.
Wala
Takot
yung
ng bobo ko na.
Yan lang, sobrang saya kasi nakapasok kami ng playoffs. Lahat ng pinaghirapan namin, ganun. Nagbunga.
Nagbunga.
Opo.
Exactly. As of now, BLACKLIST International, 5th seed sila ngayon sa ating standings.
Number 5, that's right. This time around, Edward. Let's say Edward. Ayun. All right. Edward, this time around, it's been a journey para sa BLACKLIST International, and I'm sure na maraming nag-doubt sa inyo, pero mas marami rin ang nanatili, especially those of the people watching you right now. Anong pakiramdam na there's so many people supporting you kahit anumang mangyari sa BLACKLIST International at ngayon, nakasecure kayo ng playoff spot?
Ayun, sobrang saya kasi marami pa rin nakasuporta sa amin kahit na anong roster man kami or kahit strike kami ganun. At patuloy pa rin sumasuporta yung agent sa amin.
Edward mentioned na matindi pa rin ang suporta ng agents para sa kanila. And yun yung driving force nila towards what they achieve right now, which is securing a playoff spot.
Nasaan si Oheb? Oheb. Ayun, nagtatago. Oheb, ikaw naman. My gosh, yung play that helped your team secure the playoff spot, yung maniac mo with Nathan. Congratulations! Nung time na yon, ano yung nararamdaman mo considering abot kamay na yung playoffs at that time?
Kulang pa. Kasi kulang pa po. More practice pa sa amin siguro sa dadating na break before playoffs sa amin. Parang kailangan pa namin mas malakas na practice pa kung gusto yun talaga namin mag-champion tsaka makalaro sa MSC.
Pero yung time na yon, na nag-maniac ka,
M-word, matagal pa yan eh. Ano, M6?
Ano yung reaction mo?
Wala lang, nice one.
M6 ba yan sabi mo? M-word champion?
Kalmado lang, kalma siya.
M6 na yan, di ba?
Kalmado, nice
Tagal
one
pa
yung
yan eh.
sinabi
Feeling
niya.
ko.
You know, this time around, kakausapin ko naman ang ating Game 3 MVP. Wala
Si
iba
Kai-
kundi itong
Si
katabi
Kairi
ko.
ba, mapupunta na
Na
ng
si Yu,
Pilipinas
eh.
o Indo pa rin?
Wait lang, pakinggan muna natin sila ng mga ilang segundo lang. Wait lang. Yue uli, Yue. Okay, this time around, nasabi nila Haji tsaka ni Edward dun sa stories nila, dun sa para tagumpay na, or sa para sa tagumpay na,
Sa tingin mo,
para
si
sa
Kelra,
kanila, ang tagumpay
dadali
this
sa
season
Onikinto.
ay mapag-champion kayong dalawa ni Sensui.
Kasi,
So
ano yun, di ba?
kung ikaw ang tatanungin,
Onyx
ano ang
PH yan
para
eh,
sa
Onyx
tagumpay
Indo.
for you?
Kelra,
Pero para
pupunta
sa
sa
akin,
Onikinto, tingin mo.
Siguro
Bale si King Kong,
makapag-champion kami
si
ngayon.
King Kong, matitira pa rin sa Onyx PH. Si Kelra,
makapasok sa MC.
ipupunta sa Onyx Indo.
Mapag-champion
Pwede
nila
ah.
ngayon and makapasok sa MSC. Those
Iba
are
pa rin,
two
iba
vital
pa rin ang
spots.
ano
And I
eh.
think with
Iba
your
pa rin ang
performance
galaw ng
right
ano
now,
eh. Gold
hindi
lane
wala
ng
pong
PH
mangyayari
eh.
yun.
Congratulations once again to Blacklist International. Let me hear it from your agents once again.
Ang
Blacklist,
nag-champion siguro ang ano, Onyx Indo ngayon.
you may now take your
Stick pa rin
bow
sila sa lineup nila. Kasi may hirap ang chemistry sa ganyan eh. Lalo na,
and take your walk
bahasa
of
yan.
victory. Blacklist International secures the playoffs. They're number 5 sa ating standings ngayon. At sabi nga ni Coach Bonchan, nagsisink in pa lang. Nagsisink in pa lang siya ngayon.
The job is not done, but what they had was accomplished. Gaya nga ng sinasabi nila sa karamihan ng mga pub mats nila, it's mission accomplished para sa agents.
They don't need to wait for tomorrow. They secured it today. Mission accomplished para sa Blacklist International. And now let's go back to our casters. Casters, pasok.
Called it on the dot, well, on the nose. Yue is indeed the MVP of this game, and takes a lot to actually step up against the likes of Sanji, the likes of JP. He was covering those back lines like a champion. And now looking back, let's break it down again. MVP performance by Yue Gento.
Clutch realms is the best way that you could put this. His nether clutch realms.
I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
Continue. Don't bother.
Y'all were laughing at me. But Yue got the last
Kasi
laugh.
tinalo nila yung ano.
And Blacklist International got the last
Tinalo
laugh.
nila
Over
yung
the expectations
aura.
of the world. They needed just that one game. Hell, they walked away with a sweep victory.
Yabang ng rebellion ba?
Reverse sweep victory. Now, Blacklist won't be able to
Tingin mo
get into
tingin
the
mo makakapasok ang aura?
too far. But at least they can put
MSC.
themselves in a comfy position.
Aura, BTR, Onyx.
In the, well, actually, no.
Ang
the
RRQ,
highest is
number 4
5. So
na
they're
eh.
going to be in a very uncomfortable position in the conflict.
Pucha, si Irad kasi,
Go back
kung ano-ano
to
ginagawa.
Yue's performance. Here, being able to save Oheb with the Flicker Nether Realm, that became a trend here for Yue throughout this game. 4-2 and 15 with the KDA, with the assists being the most important there. And those decisions are out of nowhere sometimes for Blacklist International to just go ahead and chase and turn up against Echo. We talked about Echo in game number 1 and what we call the Lord turn, team fight turn, the turn. When you're facing up against a Faramis, you have to be careful because you might get turned on in the team fight. Just when you've utilized your abilities to bring down the members of Blacklist, if a Clutch Nether Realm comes out, then you're gonna have to go for round 2. But in round 2, will you have your abilities? And sometimes those were the key questions for Echo. Did you still have your abilities to fight? And even though Sanji would be able to conserve the real-world manipulation and all that jazz, there was just too much to deal with up against the side of Blacklist International. Again, when you're up against the Benedetta, poetic that was one of the last moments where we saw Sanji up against the hero that gave the lineup of Echo the most problems because of how well it pairs up with everyone else on the side of Blacklist. Yep, Blacklist will walk away with the victory here. Looking at the emblems, revisiting it. Nothing too crazy though, although a little tip here for mid laners, yeah, pick up more Inspires, especially if you're a mid laner who wants to utilize a lot of skills, such as Faramis getting his Ghost Bursters and his Shadow Stampede a little bit quicker. You can expedite that, get those faster as well, and that's why Yue just felt so present all throughout the game.
Yeah, mind you, Inspire, the talent emblem, right? Not the battle spell, is a percentage reduction.
Yeah.
So that scales with whatever the final number would be. So again, kudos to these micro decisions, even pre-game, that our MVP made.
Yeah, so you can see there the priority of the items for you was Necklace of Durans, has cooldown reduction, 5%. The Enchanted Talisman, 20% cooldown reduction, plus the 5, so that's around 30% cooldown reduction overall with the items with Inspire as well. And add to that the 10% cooldown reduction, if I'm not mistaken, from the base Mage Emblem, or 5%. He just had a lot of CDR. And
That's why Clutch Realms.
Yeah, that's why Clutch Realms, bro. Welcome to the Clutch
Love
Realms. And even though Echo, it was difficult to play into this lineup.
Oh, yun, di ba? Hindi siya namatay, di ba?
3 picks of Blacklist
Hinabol siya ni ano, hinabol siya ni Sanji.
You know the chip's gonna have a hard time. So
Tapos
even what people would be seeing
mamamatay na siya, may sunog yun eh.
JP,
Nakaano
was
siya with
really,
the
honestly,
transient.
are you gonna put your team in a very dangerous scenario up against all those key abilities? So you had to be careful. It's just unfortunate that during the times JP decided to pull the trigger and make plays, especially with that one we talked about earlier with Ohem almost getting caught out. He did get taken down, but Blacklist International had time to respond with Yue coming in with those Clutch Realms. Well, it's just unfortunate that it got turned on, and that's how Echo lost his game and how Blacklist took the cake.
Clutch Realms.
Clutch Realms.
Check it out, our roamer here for Blacklist International, Haji, who has had quite the season 13.
Yeah.
Quite the run for the returning captain. Early on, he definitely focused on enabling and helping out Yue get those Clutch Realms early on. And from there, they were just everywhere. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was. And I think they played really well into the chip once again. And like Renmar broke down in the analysis there. Their composition dealt with it well. We're going to look at the updated standings here.
Finally, we have the picture for the playoffs. 6 teams walking into the gauntlet with 4 of them fighting for those top 3 slots to skip the playoffs completely.
Sayang Omega, no?
I can only imagine what other
Dapat
countries
magdagdag sila ng team eh, no? Gawin na 10.
All of these teams, man. All of these
Nasa
teams,
makakapasok, 8, no?
all of these teams making their way to fight for those 2 slots going into the mid-season cup.
I in my head, I'm like, did you say skip the playoffs or play-ins?
The play-ins.
Play-ins. The
Yeah,
play-ins.
yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody skips the playoffs.
I was like, how do
Nobody
you
skips
skip the
the
playoffs?
Sa,
You go straight
sa
to the mid-season cup.
ay sa MPL Indonesia, ano na eh.
Next
Top
season?
90, di ba?
I don't know.
Nagdagdagan sila ng
Next
dewa.
matchup again, which again, PG well played to these 2 teams. They had one hell of a season 13, and they are going to expedite.
Nasa mga nag-i-sponsor din kasi na team yan.
Recovery stage. OMG and TNC
Pag
on
walang
display.
sponsor,
Best of 3 coming up after
pag walang
this.
mag-i-sponsor na
Again,
team, wala.
It's been an honor. Ladies and gentlemen, that was just the first match of the
Siya-
night. He's
siya mang
Renmar
team ng
Cruz.
MPL,
He's
ano,
Naisu.
Indonesia.
I'm Leo. It's us, We Bear Bros. You're watching MPL
Dadagdag yung dewa eh.
13. It's second to the last day of the regular season. We'll be right back.
Maganda dyan, di ba may RRQ na sa ano, may RRQ na sa MPL PH. Yung RRQ umakyat ng MPL PH para mas maganda. Kasi sa MPL Indonesia, RRQ PH ang pinakamadaming fans eh. Sunod lang ang Onyx tsaka ano.
Experience the MPL
Onyx,
Season
Evos,
13 action
Aura,
live
yan.
shooting gallery
Eh
studios.
kung pumasok ang
Tickets are
RRQ din sa
available on our
PH,
official ticketing partner
yung mga
at /event.com.
fans ng RRQ Indonesia,
Don't miss any MPL PH action
manonood
by
din sa
following our
RRQ
official
PH.
Facebook page and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow MPL PH
Mga
on TikTok
RRQ
as
mga
well
ano yan
for
eh,
more content.
nanre-report ng
And don't forget to
Instagram yun.
like, follow, and subscribe to the official accounts of MDL Philippines. To ensure the quality and fairness of our games, MPL Philippines is also monitored and supervised by
RRQ
the Games
Kaito.
and Amusements Board.
MPL. ano eh. Stream mo ba to? Omega, parang... Yes, stream natin to, stream natin to. Jackno pala to, Jackno. Tanggalin ko muna yung sounds ha. Break time muna, break time. Tanggalin ko muna yung sounds kasi baka maka-copyright na naman tayo eh. Ibabalik natin kapag ano. Babalik naman yan eh. Wait lang, bali ano lang. Sakto, may break time naman. Saglit lang, saglit. Kain din muna kayo, kain. Ito na guys, ito na.
Ayos
Wait,
lang.
tatanggalin
Ayos lang.
natin.
Chakno, kamusta ka na? Parang
Naglag na
tulala
sila
ka.
guys.
Okay lang naman. Okay pa.
Okay pa. Okay pa tayo. Meron tayong question of the day. At yung ating mga manonood pwede rin sagutin to. Sino ang season MVP mo? Pumili ka nang hindi ka teammate mo.
Si Sanjay po ng Echo.
Bakit?
Magaling po siya sa macro and micro, tapos consistent po siya sa bawat laro nila.
Magaling sa micro at macro, consistent sa bawat laro. Ikaw naman, Shaknu. Sino yung season MVP mo?
Siguro si Kerra.
Si Kelra, bias ka ba kasi dati kayong magka-teammate? Bakit?
Oo.
Okay. It's that simple. Shaknu, bakit may mga white hair ka na? Stress ka ba?
Hindi Normal naman yan
Bakit ang stressed out ka ba today? Pag-usapan natin, ano nangyayari? Anong iniisip mo?
Wala. Okay lang, okay pa ako, guys.
Okay ka pa. So, malungkot ka, Shaknu?
Sino hindi malulungkot?
Mamaya, pag-usapan natin yan. Punta naman tayo sa kabilang panig. Hans, what's up? Hans.
Laglag na sila guys, laglag na Omega.
Natin ang TNC Pro Team.
Sayang.
Quick match lang. Same
Hindi ko
question
pa naman
as
makita
last time.
sila na
Sino ba sa tingin,
papasok.
or sino ba para sa inyo ang regular season MVP? Ikaw muna Goyo.
Para sa akin, walang kabayas-bayas si King Kong.
Si King Kong. Oo nga. Tama. Kakampi niya dati yun. Sabi ni Coach Ben. Ikaw naman, Eds. Sino sa tingin mo ang regular season MVP para sa season na to?
Para sa akin, si Nats.
Si Nats. O sige, bakit? Sa'yo may explanation. Bakit si Nats?
Yung mechanics niya po, sobrang taas. Tapos yung late game decision making, sa pagsama sa clash on point po palagi.
Okay. I see it. May gusto mag-participate. Okay, Coach Bentings. Para sa'yo ba? Kasi kanina pinapractice natin, medyo hindi ka pa nakakuha ng sagot eh. Pero ngayon, sino ba ang regular season MVP para sa'yo?
Nakalimutan ko pero dati ko tong badding dikit na dikit. Pospor ko to, si Escalera.
Escalera. Bakit si Escalera?
Yung impact na nabibigay niya sa team, kung paano na-activate yung pagiging aggressive nila, kung paano niya i-abuse
Oo nga, dati pala niyang sa Escalera.
seconds opportunity, yung pagiging tank standard na kay Escalera.
Daming options, ang daming players. Napakarami pang pwede mangyari in this season. Simulan na natin to. Casters, pasok.
More than just elimination, it's redemption that Omega and TNC are going for in their possibly last bout, their last outing in Season 13. And we're bringing that to you in a best of 3 tonight. Welcome, my boy, at your service. My name is Leo, here with Naisu and Renmar Santa Cruz. It's us, We Bear Bros, bringing you tonight's second matchup. It's Smart Omega versus TNC Pro Team. Gentlemen, how are we?
Well, that was a great bear stack. I'm feeling pretty good, feeling solid in the matchup ahead of us. It might be a start of something new here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because, well, with two teams not in the playoffs, they can just go out with a bang. Have fun with it. Show us some weird stuff.
That's right. It's an expedited go at a new beginning, the start of a new chapter for the new barangay and for the ever persistent TNC Pro Team. Much like a phoenix, they keep coming back. Much like a barangay, they will still remain standing, even years after years here in the league. We would wish GG well played, the TNC and OMG. And boy, oh boy, how weird is this, man? After TNC has rebuilt so many times, after Smart Omega has kept us at the edge of our seats year after year, season after season, it's them who miss out on Season 13.
It's almost bittersweet, right? Because I feel like, again, if you are part of the Phoenix Army, you've been through this now for seasons. And if you're part of the barangay, usually they're the ones clutching into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So now, you're kind of feeling this, but again, we have to kind of look at it as, yes, it's unfortunate that it happens for them and their fans and everything else, but they can look at it as, okay, what is going to be ahead of these squads moving forward?
Yeah, we're going to be seeing an Omega-less playoffs for the first time in a long, long time.
Yep.
But again, instead of being sad about it, hopefully this becomes a celebration of what these two teams could have been, of what these two teams are. And again, I'm just really hoping for just have fun with it. If it's going to be 3 games of like back and forth MLBB, why not?
Nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
Is that not the best thing that we can hope for. And for all of the members of the barangay, all of the Phoenix fam out there, this is for you. They're going to be performing out of their minds, and they're going to be playing for all of you. Naisu, for those specifically watching on YouTube, what we got for them?
Don't forget to subscribe first to the channels and get a chance to win 500 diamonds. We're picking 4 winners. Just let us know who you think's going to win. Hashtag OMG for Omega or hashtag TNC for TNC Pro Team. Don't forget your user IDs as well as your server IDs, because if you guys miss that, we can't give you the diamonds.
Just pop up once you are chosen as one of the 4. So with that said, let's go ahead and welcome our marshals to officiate this matchup. Here we go. They've been working hard all day. Let's acknowledge them. They are up on screen right now. 4 minutes in. It's Chico, Jeff, Patrick, and Wilbert.
And these guys are about to start their new chapters as well as they take their bow here. We'll see what that's going to be about next season.
Kain na, guys!
They may no longer be able to qualify for the playoffs, but never say die means winning. No matter what the world says, no matter the stakes. Always ready to put on a show, hailing from the barangay. It's smart. Omega!
Underrated yan, ano? No? Si ano? Si Jong? No? Napaka-underrated na gold laner niyan. No? TV mo, nakikipagsabayan kayo yung ano yan, Marco.
For the final time in MPL Philippines Season 13, MPL Arena, make some noise for Super Yoshi, Goyo, Heads, Ryzen, and Nomad. They are TNC Pro Team. Of course, a round of applause and warm welcomes to our coaches, Coach Lembot and Coach Ben Things. MPL Arena, make some noise for Smart Omega and TNC Pro Team.
Consummate professionals. They came into work and they're coming in to put on a show. Smart Omega, the eventual lineup that they would have.
Oh, wala masyado nakakapansin.
It's all about what they're bringing to the table.
Wala masyado nakakapansin
bringing to the table. I wish again we could have seen
ano.
this iteration a little bit sooner, and you know things
coach na si
into place here
ng
for
ano,
them a little bit
TNC.
too late. We'll see if they can perform to go out strong here against TNC Pro Team.
We're fielding Goyo this time around in the mid lane instead of Hatred. It's still Nomad, Ryzen, Heads, and Super Yoshi. Flanking him at the wings though. And I like that they brought in Goyo, because Goyo, I feel like for TNC Pro Team, you get the chances of showing up some more unique picks, some weird picks. But hopefully Ryzen gets his hand with Assassins. I want to see that.
Oh yeah. Yesterday we had a back-to-back win for Ling from TNC's previous jungler in now Onyx PH's King Kong.
Yep.
Looking at the team head-to-head, so far stats-wise and their performance, again, it's no secret that TNC love the early game. They are so good.
TikTok tips wala na eh. Nag-coach na eh.
They're able to collapse on
Siguro
opponents,
umano na eh.
which again is something that
Hindi na
Omega
kaya
does as well.
Siguro pag nagkaroon ng camping maayos yan.
Gold laner.
Big player ulit yan.
Big J. I'm looking forward to how those cores will be helped by our junglers who again will help snowball and secure these objectives that help control the map. We're talking about Andoryu and Ryzen.
Yeah, again, I'm hoping that, like you mentioned, we get to see some of the assassins come to play, of course, for this matchup here. Would love to see that, even experimentation for these teams and these lineups to see what's in store for us.
Give us a Zilong gold lane.
Yes,
Oh no.
that could work too.
Yeah.
Very much TNC. Very much TNC. Let's talk about the keys to victory though, brought to us by Infinix.
And I like the focus is on Andoryu and Ryzen. Reveal Andoryu's true hero pool. When he was in Smart Omega Neos in MDL Philippines, he played things like the Grangers, Assassins. So, Andoryu, go ahead and play those if you want to. Utilize Ryzen's mechanical skills, TNC Pro Team. Allow him to get the Ling. Allow him to get the Lancelot. Any more Assassins that Ryzen can show off. And of course, for both of these two, go out with a bang. And you know what tickles my fancy right now? What gets me a little bit loosey-goosey excited?
What?
If we see Assassins, will we see Chak Mamba's Kufra? Right? We might see the signature Kufra for Chaknu.
If it's the kind of assassin that is on the ground that the Kufra can prey on, then yeah, definitely.
Especially.
Assassin user din yan.
Ling pop up, I think there's a good chance.
Yeah, it's been a
that we
while
actually
since I've
see it.
seen some really good bouncing balls.
Has there ever been a Kufra in season 13? I'm looking back.
There has been, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna
Wait,
have to
season
double check.
13?
Total laglag na silang
I
dalawa.
remember, again, a Kadira making a debut, a Ling making a debut.
Yes.
Magano na sila.
Earlier today, an Eve making a
Eve.
debut.
Gawa sila ng, ay magano sila ng mga assassin.
From what I can recall, I don't
Helbert
think I've ever seen a
Aling.
Kufra pop up just
Wala,
yet.
assassin user naman yan si Ryzen.
Hey, maybe.
This might be the one.
This might be it.
Yeah, hell, we've even seen a Selena roam, but we haven't seen a Kufra roam.
So, this right here is Smart Omega's game. They are home. And with that said, they pick red side. Interesting. Again, it has been proven that blue side is the dominant side, still sitting at a 57-43, walking into week 7. Now, it looks like Omega wants a 2-pick swing. What is this? Are they the ones setting up for the possible assassin? Because you want to, again, draft safely. If you're experimenting, that's what you want to do, right? You want to be able to watch out and protect that soft pick.
I think at this point, if we're contemplating assassins coming to play, really when you have those 2 picks on the swing back, it's great to set things up. So let's see what unfolds here.
Here we go, game number 1.
Oh, laglag na sila eh.
See on the play. We're already in the second ban for the Barangay. TNC taking out the Angela and the Paramis, while Smart Omega bans out the Chip. Are they going to ban out the Luyi too?
Well, let's see if they're gonna go for that. TC Pro Team with the Loyi. Maybe that's why they brought Goya in, because maybe he has more reps with the Loyi compared to Hatred. Smart Omega though, great respect bans here by TNC Pro Team. The Angela has gone really well for them, but most importantly, the Faramis of Okir and then the Grok for Chaknu has been great pickups for them, especially since last week. So it's a good thing TNC are acknowledging that and respecting it. Meanwhile, for Omega, they're going to take away something from TNC. Maybe take away a comfort from Ryzen. Take away the Fredrin. But now they'll take out the backshot instead. In terms of the jungler mashup,
Helgurt.
coming of Fredrin Barat.
Helgurt Ling, no?
Or a Fredrin.
Assassin game na.
Maybe even an Akai pickup, if it's going to be the tanky junglers. Because
Please,
again,
I don't want to see it.
I want to see assassins,
No,
bro.
Yeah.
it's
Laglag
like
naman
to play properly.
All right.
It was going to be the Fred if Harith wasn't open. I almost missed out. Matilda also.
Yeah.
Matthew Hilda's open.
So many things are open right now. If I'm Omega, pick up the Matilda Barretts here. For Chaknu and Andori, it was a great combo for them when they won up against AP Brand.
Oh yeah? Bounce pa rin.
Well, that's picked up here. Massive 99% contention right for that Matilda. So we're going to see that come through. We've seen it a couple times pop up. And now that that's locked in, the answer, at least for TNC, of course, the Fredrin's still available. They're going to go with the Minotaur for now.
Yeah, Chak Mamba effect. Omega has an average assist of 70.86. But with Chaknu coming in, it has come up to 30.6. Way more assists for Omega. TNC Pro Team goes for the Minotaur and Vexana. Hey, what if Omega are potentially considering swinging this Matilda into the mid? We've seen mid-damage Matilda, and then they pick up something different for Chaknu.
I don't like it.
Not a fan of it?
Not a fan of it. It's going to be disastrous. Again, you saw single-handedly, the Chakmang almost doubled their kill participation, right?
And he played the Matilda last week, right?
It's his best hero.
The Matilda Barrett.
It's his best hero. And here we go. This I'm comfortable with. I like this. I like the Novarian mid.
Temper the expectations.
You
You do you.
And at the same time, you get something that the actual Echo into the Zaman Force is also a field of slow that Omega can work with. So, I like
Kaso,
it.
barat-
The vision,
barat
and you get the
Matilda na
temper
naman
limitations of TNC Pro Team. Come on.
Dapat ano na sila eh.
Not gonna happen.
Nag-assassin na eh. Total.
Although Smart Omega can still can swing.
Look at that.
TNC, I don't think I want to see an assassin with this kind of lineup.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Unless
tough.
they put something very chunky in the XP.
Yeah. And I appreciate how Omega are still respecting the Ling. Even though it's a Barrier that he's going to be up against, yeah, the Ling fares well in that matchup. If TNC pick up something like a Lancelot, I would like it, but I would not be... I'd be scared for TNC Pro Team.
Either a Lancelot or you throw out there Hayabusas, maybe the Hanzos.
They're both
Flying kasi yan.
because again, they're both swingable. The Barats might be deceptive, but yeah, you can throw that on Ryota, call it a day.
Yeah, it could be a mid lane Barret, EXP lane Barrets. So come on, nah.
Hayabusa's still out there too.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually respect Hayabusa.
Yeah, the fact that he can retribution during the ultimate.
When the body suffers.
And he becomes more of a shuriken-focused hero.
Yep, zero energy cost on the two skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed that with his ultimate, right? So I think ultimate is one of them where it doesn't cost energy anymore. And what was the other one?
Oh no, the first two skills don't cost energy.
Oh, for the first two skills?
Yeah, only the...
His shurikens and his shadows don't.
Shadows,
Yeah.
And
okay.
then his ult still does.
Yes.
Amazing.
The night sky tells all.
Esmeralda.
Oh. So they're also respecting the Esme. So I love how really both teams are acknowledging that, hey, both of us are no longer in for playoffs contention. We might even get weird with the picks. So they're both just respecting it. Gold Lane Roger tells me they're leaning towards Jungle Barretts for this.
Yeah, it's more likely. It's clean.
What if it's a Gold Lane Jungle Roger?
Jungle Roger's fine. I think 1 in 8 or 1 in 10 Rogers in Season 13 were Jungle Rogers.
Yeah.
Right?
There have been like a couple.
Yep.
I'm not mistaken.
H2 specifically.
Yeah.
Was a Jungle Roger for Smart Omega. So now TNC, all cards on the table. Are we going to see an assassin from y'all? Is Rising going to do it?
I wonder. They can go higher. Because the Navarre is going to be the... Oh.
There you go, Fred.
Yeah.
All of the suspense out the door with the appraiser here.
I
Who's
think
that?
Okay,
Oh,
that's
Paquito.
Paquito. I think you guys were saying though, if it was an assassin jungler, it'd almost be a little too expensive a lineup.
Oh, Roger Goldlane
You
yan.
also really
Roger
want to
Goldlane.
this Harith obviously
Velvet jungle yan,
to
oh.
scale up really well, and that's kind of
Hindi,
the
pwede
answer.
yun.
All right,
Pwede, XP
Barrett's
Barats.
already there.
Roger
So might as well
Goldlane.
pick up the Fred and
Elgert.
not get a
Sana
little too
mag-Elgert.
costly with our lineup.
Yeah. So what's Omega gonna do here? Did they put the Rizzler on Ryota? Because again, we're assuming that this is just the basic bullets, yeah? Put the Rizzler on it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Minsitar?
I'm so sad I didn't mention this.
Okay, we got a different debut pick in. And hold on.
Ah,
hold on,
Goldlane,
hold on.
ano,
Are we
Minsitar.
throwing back?
That's
Are we
cool. Yeah.
throwing back to season 11?
Yeah.
In
This season 11 or
in
season
the
12?
SMX, it's 11.
11.
Wow.
That's right. In the playoffs. Put it in the gold lane. Won that game too.
Yeah.
Gold Lane Mincy. A lot of dashes on the side of TNC Pro Team. And let's see. Theoretically, it's the counter to the Harith. You stop him from dashing. You stop the Paquito from dashing.
Right.
You even stop that little dash coming out of the Fred.
Hey, it's not a little dash. It's a pretty significant
Yeah,
dash.
it's a
nice
significant
slide.
Don't
It's
say
a
that
nice
about
slide.
Fred. Don't say that about
You best friends with Fred or something?
Yeah, you.
Oh, Jungle Roger
Yeah,
nga.
personal and defensive there when it's about Fred
Jungle
here.
Roger nga.
You don't understand.
Ano lang, kinancel lang nila.
Their lineups, TNC,
Kinancel lang
and
nila yung
Smart
Ari.
Omega. And it's the barangay that's looking to push the envelope of what's possible in the current metagame here in Season 13. A gold lane Minisitar in the hands of Big J.
Cancel lang ano dyan, Paquito tsaka Rito.
I was, when we were
Tano.
talking about, like right at the top of the program, in the back of my head, I was thinking, I wonder if any of these two are going to pick up a Bin Sitar. Because Harith has been showing up more frequently. Paquito's been coming back more. So it wasn't my gut that like, oh, maybe someone's gonna bring it up. I wish I said it. But now let's see how it's gonna perform in the gold lane. In the hands of Jome, we're just waiting for what the emblems will be for him, and it's Assassin. Pure attack speed, Master Assassin, Assassin emblem set. Interesting. I wonder what items he's gonna build.
Little glide there.
There was no reason for him to go that far. I mean, he did get himself closer to the crab, but all right, here we go. Opening items, opening emblems.
In terms of the items, nothing too significant right now. I wonder if Okir, I believe I saw the gem there. He might actually be going, the mana crystal. So he might be going for
Sakit talaga yan, Pakito, lalo na pagka nasa loob ka na
just to
ng
minimize the healing dished out by the Minotaur, and of course the shields, shield generated by Harith.
Also the shield
Hindi ka na makakalabas.
and
And the
Frederick
shield too, and yeah.
answered quite a bit. So yeah, spot on to pick up the early Durans. Again, members of the barangay still out there showing love and support for their team. Now that's a fan base I'd love to be a part of.
Yeah, I think, again, man, last week, you almost wish everyone could at least experience that, being here personally when we had that last week, that rally behind the barangay. And
I've never heard Shooting Gallery pop that hard.
It was, I don't know, it was magical, right? And given how, again, just one game could have changed the whole course of this matchup ahead of us, but they're still here showing their support, of course, and you can't deny the fact, the power, obviously, that we saw too with the Chak Mamba effect, but just the barangay as a whole. I feel like they're in that situation where they're going through these adjustments, they're going through those growing pains, you know, and we've seen this from other teams in the past, and eventually they settle in and they find something that works for them. I feel like it's one of those seasons for Smart Omega.
Let me tell you, Joseph, it happens to the best of them.
Yeah.
Blacklist missed out on a playoff season 9. Season 10 won the whole thing, went on to the grand finals of M4. AP Bren missed out on the playoffs. Rebuilt for seasons and eventually won an M5.
That took them seasons.
It happens to the best of them, man.
Then they went on a world tour.
Right.
So,
Ito ko yung ginawa nun, no?
For TNC and for
Nagpakita lang ng
Omega,
muscle.
the journey just about to start all over again.
Ito yung kakaiba dun.
Who knows? Maybe down the line we'll see these two in the finals instead of
Pakita ko muscle to eh.
this scenario. I mean, it's always good to hope. What's the Jack the post?
Yeah. You know what Troy and Gabriela said, right? It's the start of something new.
Ah, yeah.
heck yeah.
I love Camp Rock.
Dude, that wasn't Camp Rock.
Yes, it was.
Dude, that was Frozen.
Right.
Come on.
Thanks, man.
Read a book.
Read a book.
I will.
All right, real quick, before we pause, it was but a minute and change, and nothing significant happening on the map. Again, we have yet to see the impact of a Mincetar. But, all right, over and under, gentlemen, are we going to see the Mincetar come into play sooner or later? Is it an early game to mid-game spike, or they're going to save it for, like, those big moments wherein they punish the dashes?
Given the fact that he went full force assassin for the most part, I think he wants to start off strong. And not only that, but I guess it's a great counter, obviously, to the Harith and what we talked about. It's first picked. So, you know, you play around the ability to kind of stop all the dashes and the ultimate going off. And I think that's going to be a big obstacle to deal with.
Truth be told, a lot of members of the community watching now, online, on TikTok, during our our own streams, our own content bits. People are asking, how do you counter Harith? He's so good. He's, bar none, the best gold laner in the game right now.
Yeah.
I would...
Sag nga lang ata sa H2. Kala ko nga main siya.
It's because it doesn't show up. It's literally a outside of the meta pick. But now that it's here, we're going to have to start talking about it.
Yeah. What if it ends up changing the course of your RGs?
And what if
Manonood lang ako.
Playoffs? What if
Pupunta ako ng venue na MPL pagka
other teams in now in the
nandiyan yung
playoffs
host
are
ng
looking
MPL
at it
Singapore.
like, wait a minute.
Starting tomorrow. All right, here we go. Again, folks, we're just hooing and hawing, not to yuck anyone's yum. Maybe the Mincetar is going to change the game, but with the turtle spawning here, upper quarter, 5 seconds in, it looks like Smart Omega is in a better position. They have a better perimeter around it, and after this purple take from Andoryu, they should be making a beeline.
Okay, so Ryzen going to start this one up. They don't have Endoryu here just yet, but he's working on that purple. They might just go ahead and give the first one over, but they're going to hold it here for now.
They don't care.
So, still working on it. Echo's going to come down, but there's the Appraiser's Wrath. Ryzen will easily get that first objective of the game.
Ooh, and you saw Omega there actually. At some point, Endoryu was looking at the opposing orange buff and thinking, should I go invade this? But then there was something just a little bit off of the timings, and so they decided, nah, let's try to invade the purple instead. Will they get there in time? You see it in the minimap.
Yep. They almost single-handedly get shooed off by Ryzen.
Retribution used, though. I wonder if anyone got a purple buff steal.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Waiting on Endoryu.
Yeah, bottom lane, though. Good decision by TNC Pro Team to now commit a rotation here and there just to help out their Harith.
Ganda ng collector ng ano, no?
Just, chilling there.
no?
No grant of purple.
Tangin ng collector yan.
Ryzen has it. Hopefully TNC does decide to help out their Harith more.
Ganda, no?
Hopefully that means we get to see Omega help out their Mincetar more.
Dati Mincetar
By
user ako.
that, you're making it seem like it's a 50-50, but is that really the case? Is it 50-50 between Mincetar and Harith?
Again, we don't have enough of a sample size to
Right?
know. Yeah.
We haven't seen the matchup play out.
Yeah.
What other than that, what else would actually work against the Harith? What's the answer to that question that's constantly asked?
Esmeralda, that's why they banned it out.
Yeah, just to steal the shields. An Esmeralda that got a good early game. An Esmeralda that got a bad early game and will have to like come back from it has a lot of difficulty.
Big J,
Z-Force.
he's feeling that Zaman force indeed.
Yeah.
Just gonna kind of back off here. He knows the pressure is there. Echo spotting multiple members down here, of course. But now the fight for the resources is gonna start. A flicker comes in. There's the taunt here. We'll get taken down in the first blood. And all this, once again, Endoryu trying to shoo them out of the jungle here, but TNC able to find
Nandun ni
some.
Ryzen, ano?
All right. Endoryu does commit the retribution, but
Ryzen
lucky for him,
tumitibig pa eh.
he'll come off cooldown just in time for the
Pares
next
na nga kayong laglag,
Back to basics here for TNC Pro Team. Their lineup can invade really strongly against Omega. It's a soft assassin type of jungler for
Pares na kayong laglag,
OMG.
titibi pa.
So TNC can continue this. Again, early to mid game, momentum can be theirs. And Omega will just have to play defensively.
Oh, a 1-2 punch from Heads. Checking them in the bush here, but now he's going to get eaten up, thrown into the wall by Ryota. Still looking for the kill, not able to follow up on it though. He's going to live, and now Ryota, the one in trouble, will guiding his wings out of there from Chaknu. And still going for it. It will fall again. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane as well, the 1v1 with Nomad and Big J under the turret, but won't be able to capitalize the kill there for Nomad.
Meanwhile,
gets shoved out of the jungle again, but he was able to get the buff.
Straight up.
patay nga na Maria.
A sledgehammer to OMG's wall. It might seem like it's impressive, but no, TNC's lineup is just built to run through him. But wait, look, bottom lane. Oh!
I think we got an answer now.
An answer, yep.
Okay, so the Harith still wins.
Harith wins up against that in the 1v1 scenarios in the gold lane.
Yeah, just because you stop the dashes doesn't mean it hurts less.
Yeah, he'll still hurt.
Oh,
another invade by TNC.
This is tough. 3K ahead at nearly the 6-minute mark here. TNC relentlessly in this jungle now, still fighting for the purple. They'll go ahead and grab it and get out of here. So right now, TNC completely controlling the momentum.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, well, not really unfortunate, Omega decided to do this to themselves. They gave TNC a lineup that can allow them to play the comfort game that they want, which is dominate and control the early to mid game. Looking at the side of Omega, in terms of their mid to late game wave clear, it's really just the Novaria. The others have to put themselves in difficult situations.
Wow, the flicker going to be used by Ryota.
Great combo.
They're trying to get the kill, and they do get Heads. And now they're going to get themselves an objective as well. They get the tier 1 in the top lane.
Yeah,
that was a little expensive.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things thrown at one hero.
Yeah. I mean, they do get the tower, they get the trade out. And it looked really cool how Omega executed that, not gonna lie. Honestly, timing in the...
Jerome, message mo nga ako sa ML ko.
Star Shatter also landing onto him. Let's see how many more of those Omega need to do to actually take good control of this game.
Message mo ako, hindi ko makita yung account mo eh.
Alright, looking at the items, Nomad already on his feather. Already has a Starlium Scythe. Oh wow, yeah, definitely buried in value. Yeah. Big J, 1,500 down.
I think even Big J had trouble getting good last hits up against that Harith.
Ngayon, message mo ako ngayon.
Just kept dashing
Para
and just using
i-accept
the
ko.
synchro vision to make the most of getting the max possible gold from last hits on the minions, while Jome couldn't.
Yep, tough. And I think this is most likely just going to be Turtle going in the hands and TNC again. Endoru just getting his buff, but Chaknu is going to go ahead and circling Eagle around and escape. But still, Omega just trying to find whatever they can. And Joe, though, the Spear of Glory into the King's Calling, looking for any kind of follow-up, but they're not going to find him as he drops in the mid lane. And still holding on to that mid turret, but TNC will respond to it.
Good catch, but there wasn't much of a collapse from Omega. Not enough firepower just yet, especially since they're down 3K. Mid lane turret didn't even hit much.
So now Omega will have to crawl into this. Well, trying to think about it, like, what are Omega trying to combo? Okay, let's say you get a lot into the King's Calling. Are you setting them up to get scratched by the Roger? Damage coming in from Ukir with the National Echo?
Basic attack by the big guy.
Basic
That's
attack.
it. Basic attack by the big guy, and then I don't know, like
hope. Hope for hope.
Little DOT from Ukir. There were better approaches, I think.
Yeah, but then the sad thing is Omega 500. Oh, Joe.
Big J. You can not much you can do there. Chaknu flying around with circling Eagle. Ryota on the backside.
wow.
Here comes Endoru, though, with a Lycan Pounce, looking for it. They're going to find Nomad. They might want to respond here, too. Ryota going to eat him up, and Daytona's welcome into the wall. Head's going to be in trouble now. There's the Pounce from Endoru. Now chasing down Super Yoshi. They're hungry for more. Jumps in once again. They'll find the Minotaur. And Goyo has to flicker out as well. But Chaknu once more alongside the rest. They're going to
Nice one, Chaknu.
the turret. And Omega finds some wins there.
First big win for the Barangay in game 1. They do close the gap. Now they're just down 1,000, 2,000 gold, and they get their first win. A trade still, but now they're keeping it up.
Eternal Guard going to be dropped down into the Appraiser's Wrath, and Ryzen will swoop on out of there.
Check mo yung ano.
But Smart Omega whittling down
Jerome, nag-message
that
ako
gold
sa'yo.
lead that TNC held on for
Nag-message
so
ako
long.
sa'yo sa ML. Check mo.
Damn, never say die. That's the Omega attitude, and so far we're seeing, again, typical TNC things. At some point you slip, but you can't fault for them. Continuing that
Oh, check mo, nag-message ako
because
sa'yo.
it looked really bad for Omega. Just unfortunate Nomad ended up in no man's land. Now he already has a Bloodwing, so it should help him out in terms of the tankiness. So TNC Pro Team, yes, they sort of slipped their big lead, but they still have a chance to continue being aggressive.
Whoa, crashing down in the mid lane. Eternal Guard, Zaman Force, everything being dropped. Ryota's the one to fall. Now still fighting it out under the tier 1. They're going to deal with the Eternal Guard. They're going to clear that out. But TNC, they want to fight it on. Omega is going to jump in. Jome looking for Goyo. Can't find him, though. Guiding Wings out. They only lost Ryota, but now TNC will start at the
May
low.
bagong laro dito sa ML, ah. Parang Flappy Bird.
TNC showing exactly OMG that even if they have very little range, it's lethal range. Another pull!
Spear of Glory going to be dropped down. Again, the Zaman Force is there and available for Nomad. Forcing Chaknu back. They're quite low here. TNC does have some healing available to them, though. But Smart Omega, they don't want to give them this Lord.
Yeah, they can actually just show themselves and actually now take control
Ano
here
tong
with
bagong
their
laro
balance
ng
back.
ML?
But as you
Parang
mentioned,
Flappy
Nice,
Bird.
the members of TNC low, yeah, Omega can just force themselves here to contest this properly.
Nope, doesn't matter. Yoshi's
Ano
healing
yung
them
skin ba,
up. They're fine. They're gonna continue. This dance isn't as simple as it
Ano, may
looks.
pinapalo, may lumalabas na coins, ah.
We're yet to see them
Saan to?
still make the most of what combo they have. They have great engage range. They can catch you with a recall, an echo. They can catch you with the hook, the Spear of Glory. They can even do the special, but Detona's welcome delivery.
Reskin.
But I think with all of those options, TNC is all the wiser. TNC just knows that they gotta lead.
Ano na, yung pusa ko nangungulit na.
Okay.
Walang pagkain yung pusa
Dory
ko.
doesn't have that orange, so
Wala akong
looks like Heads
makabili.
took that now. Super Yoshi going to be the focus down. Zaman Force going to be dropped down, forcing them back once again. And with Heads having that orange buff stolen from Endoru.
Oh, ayos ah.
Still being a menace in that mid lane right now. TNC will go ahead and start things up. You can see the placement on Big J. Jome waiting there to possibly do something about Heads here. He's a menace against Enduro. Can't even get in. Drops the King's Calling. There's the hook. Heads though. Gets the shield. Still going to be fine. The response though, Nomad dropping down and Chaknu has
Hirap din kasi yan. Predrin ba naman, tas Roger ka.
the Lord going to be worked on by TNC.
He's skedaddled out of there. And again,
Oo nga, nakita ko nga.
so much, and yet they're gonna lose the Lord here. Lord at half health. The dance continues.
If they somehow get this miraculous, is all I could say.
Ryzen quite low. Summon Force going to be dropped once again. They get the flicker out. Still fighting for it. Lycan pounce in. Antonio next to the Lord, but Jacknu going to be taken out. Ryota looks like he's going to be next. Eats up him, but throws him out, but won't be able to get away because Ryzen shows up. They slow him down, and Ryota will fall. TNC again making their way down the mid. Finds a win, and it's Smart Omega on the defense.
Great handling there by TNC. There were so many attempts of Omega to just break the formation and break the composure of TNC Pro Team. But TNC acknowledged one simple fact. Omega doesn't have the damage that they need right now. The combination that they're looking for, yes, it counters, but it doesn't really take down anyone on the side of TNC Pro Team. So they just said, all right, we have a Minotaur, we can just heal through things. We have heroes that can generate shield for themselves. They can also heal somewhat. So TNC just didn't lose their cool and didn't lose their position. Great decisions by TNC Pro Team to reset at the right time and to fight at the right time.
And now they're facing down a full-on siege. All waves pushed in. TNC synchronized them well. Lord crashing up top. Omega's getting penetrated here.
Top turret.
Uy, may Alpha?
Now Head's making his way
Alpha
there
ba to?
on
Yung
the
ano,
pressure on the bottom
collector?
side as well, but Omega will deal with the Lord. It's one of the first ones of the game, so quickly goes down. They hold on to the two turrets.
Alpha nga, no? Ang ganda.
It's about 2 minutes until the next Lord comes up. And Heads here gets a retreat. Slowed.
Okay, so, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
There was a response there. TNC was ready to rotate down as well, but again, they have in this big lead, and we've seen TNC in this position before previous weeks ahead of us, and we've seen it slip out of their hands. So hopefully this time around, with this kind of lead and the way things have been going, the course of this game, they should be able to
ng 1,000 yung Aurora
this
Crystal ko.
game here. And even if they wait for
Kukunin
the
ko
Lord for this
yung
next
Alpha.
over
Ay,
a
kukuha ko ng
minute on
collector.
that, they just have
Hinihintay ko
to
kasi
make
kay
sure they
Granger
somehow
eh.
doesn't get surprise attack. Now, the biggest surprise attack from Omega, honestly, over here, it's probably going to be the Spear of Glory. But Big J, he hasn't been able to land many of those just yet.
And at the same time, the lineup here of TNC Pro Team
Oh, yun nga
have a
lang.
lot of tankiness and sustain. They're building up Oracle so that means they even get more healing received, more shields generated for themselves.
Magkamukha yung Alpha, no? Tsaka
Omega,
ano?
since the brunt of their magic damage comes from a Novaria, let's go back in time. MSC last year, 2023.
Mega King
So
versus
what became a surprise response to Novaria is, if it's possible, drop the Uranus, because he can just heal back the damage being dealt by a Novaria, who
Diamond
at that time
recharge.
was just
Anong
hunting
epic
down
skin
EXP
to?
laners and frontliners.
Here's the flicker play in. Super Yoshi wants more. Summon Force already dropped two. Eternal Guard gonna find two. Knocks them
Oh.
off. Big J already
Ang
down
takbo
and
talaga
around the
ang
run.
Roger dyan.
Ryzen trying to cut them off the
Tama
front
kasi ng
side.
Fredrin eh. Ba't kasi
Gekko's gonna
nagkano
drop
sila?
as well. Now TNC still making their way. Ryota gonna go in with the Daytona as well. Has to flicker out defensively. But Omega, they lose Jome. Now Lord up for TNC.
I didn't say Super
nakita
Yoshi.
ko nga
Great
to.
decision to use a Despair Stomp to block the path of the Detonus Welcome onto Ryzen. Because if he didn't block that path, he would have been brought back under the turret of Omega and got stunned. But since Super Yoshi blocked it, Ryzen was safe and he was able to get away.
Back at the Lord, blitzing it. No way Smart Omega can even think of contesting. Huge Astral Echo, though, spots them just to say, hey, they're going to secure either way. So far, Smart Omega, the story of their lineup, the story of this Minzitar-led output. What it's solving is a problem that doesn't exist. It's not like OMG need to engage. It's not like OMG are stopping TNC's mobility. TNC is a full-on dive comp.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan is for Omega now going into the late game.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing also is, remember there was a time when we saw that Kagura became a response to the Minzitar? With the Minzitar here, the King's Calling is like, hey, put your Minoan Fury here. Hey, put your Eternal Guard here. It's like you're telling TNC Pro Team, use your abilities here because that's what
Paano ginawa mo?
Yeah, even right.
Yeah, put your Appraiser's Wrath here.
Well, right now, target or not, Omega's going to have to defend. Chaknu taking a trip
Gusto ko makuha
down
dyan yung float.
the circling eagle. Lord's going to be worked on, though. There's Minoan Fury from Super Yoshi's going to get
Kaso
eaten up by
random yun,
Ryota,
di ba?
thrown into the base. He will fall, but the
Float
turret
sana,
in
gusto
the
ko
mid
makuha
lane
niya.
will be taken out by TNC. and it looks like that's all they're going to get from that Lord push in.
Yoshi paid the price for them to be able to push in mid. I'm pretty sure there was a world where he didn't have to lean hard onto it. And again, this is explained by the fact that he did not use his flicker. So he wasn't hard on looking for an engage. With that said, both the teams are going to have to wait for this third Lord of this game. 17 minutes in, it's going to be an evolved Lord. Could be the last if Omega don't pull something out of this anytime soon.
Despite everything, it's only a 5,000 gold difference. I mean, TNC still has an advantage here, but it's not that much. Honestly, Omega, they have hope again, but just how do they layer everything together and make this lineup work with each other's the biggest question. You can appreciate how they're pushing out though. They're not just staying in base. They know that since the gold lead isn't that crazy at this point in the game, they can fight it out. And remember, we are in Omega time now. It's Omega timers. The old idea of 18 minutes in Omega already.
Nice job getting that Spear of Glory landed. They get the flicker out of it from Goyo. So again, that might help them leading into these next Lord Dance. Less than a minute away.
All right, the lack of burst from Omega allowed for Goyo to survive. And I'm pretty sure that flicker was more than worth his life. I'm thinking that's another issue that Omega have to deal with. What if they get the perfect pull combo? What if they do get the Detona's Welcome? It's still not a perfect collapse. It's still a fight that they have to work hard for.
Yep.
The Astral Echoes would be big. If they can get an Astral Echo onto 4 and 5, that gives Andoryu actually a good chance to be able to deal a lot of damage. Oh, they gotta run!
Oh no, they're gonna get sandwiched in. Circling Eagle gonna be used as well. Joe might walk his way back for this fight. He's looking for his own. He's only going to find it on multiple members. This might be the time for Smart Omega to collapse down. Daytona's Welcome going to be used as well. Ryzen though, stays on out. And Dioru is going to deal with Super Yoshi, trying to keep him down. It's a triple now. Heads was in the mid lane, pushing. Jackdu's not going to let him. Cuts him off. Has the shield though. Will be fine. 4 down for TNC. And Dioru finds the Maniac. And Heads is the only one alive. Lord is up here. What does Smart Omega do?
Suddenly, the barangay have come alive. Oh, Chaknu. Close call. Almost got knocked out. Heads, the only one left. Look at this. They're not even going for the Lord. I think they're saying we can't penetrate. It is endable. They double take and go for the Lord.
What the heck? Welcome to another classic Omega game. Another classic TNC game as well. It's even
classic.
Somehow
Classic Omega game versus classic TNC game.
That. Forcing Super Yoshi to
ayos na TNC ito eh, no? Lagi na tatalo sa late game eh.
That, I believe Andoryu and Chaknu were there, but they were able to get away. Chaknu even used
Granger,
the circling Eagle
Granger core.
getting control
Naging Granger ako eh.
Fury. He'll fly out, and then Joe will see from the shrub behind them coming in with a big 3-man. Make it 4 Kings calling to set everyone up. Astral Echo as well means a little bit more splash damage coming in from Andoryu's Lycan Pounce and basic attacks.
Dati nauso yung ano?
Was delayed.
Nauso sa Granger yung ano?
And it was just Chaknu. At that point,
execute.
not at all
Execute
was that
Granger. Gold lane Granger execute.
So expensive and they paid the price. They paid the iron price.
Hindi mo pwede labanan ng ano eh.
It looked like Super Yoshi was thinking, oh, they're probably both still
tapos sa late game, yung Granger naka-ano.
It was both of them, yeah, worth it. But
naka-wooden mask.
Showed the response so quickly as well.
Naka-wooden mask yung Granger ko dun eh.
Omega knocking on the door of TNC's base.
Oh, they're in.
They keep him in. Ryota going to go in with the Daytona's Welcome. Can they fight this without Jome though? Super Yoshi going to jump in with the North Fury. Nomad will get the kill. And there's another Immortality going to be popped to Ryota. Flickers out. He's running on the small dino legs and flies away as well.
Lumang-luma na nga yun.
From TNC.
Lagano ba yun eh? Naka-wooden mask ako dun eh.
They knew that they had to fix the long legs.
Kaso ang wooden mask ko dun sa Granger, yung pula.
Again,
para may movement speed.
50-50. Balls in anybody's court now.
Sayang yun eh. Hindi ko na yun eh. Hindi ko na record. Inabol ako ng 5 kalaban. Nakatakas ako.
The angle of Heads' entry from the left wing also really helped out. Now we're all even. Everyone has the items that they need. It's a Thunderbolt, though, interestingly enough. For that Roger not building into an immortality as most Rogers would at this point in the game.
And Doru's going to be up in a couple seconds. TNC doesn't want to wait for it. They work on the turret. All base turrets down now. Ukir has to flicker out, but it can't escape from Nomad. And Doru comes up, though. Jumps on into the fight, but Heads has a different idea. working on the base. He's not going to be able to get it. Takes a couple shots.
Minions.
They're still working on it. Turrets are all down, but Smart Omega keeps it together for now. Ukir will be up for another 30 seconds. They clear the waves.
That was close. Smart Omega, they know their priorities. The flicker in!
Heads could be in
Uy,
trouble
mga kapatid.
there with
Uy.
has a bunch of
Ang taas na
shields
shield, no?
and the immortality and will
Grabe
not be
naman
able
yung
to be taken
Pakito.
down.
Ang taas na shield.
Man, the Paquito generates so much shields, but look, they're still fighting. They're
Ayun,
still scrapping. This is
item
what we
ko.
wanted to see.
Ryzen!
They're going to get cut off here. Ryzen, though, will go down to Ryota.
Naka-oracle ba yan?
No.
Putang inang yan.
Everybody
Oh,
is
yun, oh.
everywhere. Randoru on
Shield
heads
yun.
goes in, but he doesn't have enough shield. Zaman Force, whoa, taking a trip
Shield yun.
around the rocks. Sandoru will be
Grabe,
fine.
no?
And now the Lord is up once again.
Okay, good time to reset. Again, the fact that Ryzen is out for the next 40 seconds means Omega needs to do two things. Number one, clear the minions, and then two, make a beeline
Pero,
for
grabe yung
the
shield
Lord.
eh.
Andoru is here.
Oo,
His
napunta
retribution
ng
gonna
Pakito,
come off in
pero
10.
grabe naman
I
yung
think
shield
Omega
doon.
can blitz this.
Let's see.
Nabag ba yung shield? Nabag ba yun?
And heads. Winter Truncheon going to be used as well. There's the Zaman Force. Jones going to be alive. Picks up the immortality himself. Ryota and the rest of the team here. Lord's going to be ignored for now. Ukir, though, takes a couple of shots. Oh, my God. Will go in and get the kill, though. It's scrappy. It's dirty. But that's what we want to see here.
World Star!
World Star!
All right.
That's straight up messy, bro.
nabag yung shield
Omega
niya.
gave up the Lord
Kaya
to take
pala.
Nomad down.
I mean, it's 1-for-1. 50 seconds apiece, right? Nomad and Ukir out of the equation, and neither team have a clear line at the Lord. So now
Dapat
we go
yan ang
to
ginagamit
dance.
nilang ano?
Yeah, okay, but both jugglers are
Ginagamit nilang
Let's see.
jungle ngayon. Pakito.
Astral Echo, I feel like, is one of the biggest tools
Pakito,
for
tas
Omega's
ano?
team fighting capabilities. It's very important to them. And you gotta
Pakito,
watch
tas
out for
naka
Heads' split
Matilda,
push play.
na
Heads'
Matilda
see
na
Havard
naka-
on him, if I'm not mistaken.
Plus
So that's
of
a
Oasis.
respectable amount of
Pucha.
attack speed and physical damage being dished out by that Paquito to go for
Sobrang
a split
shield
push
yun.
backdoor end.
Which makes it so tricky because who do you send
Yeah.
to man-to-man
Oh,
defense
this
against
is-
Heads? Right? So far, Omega, for the past 2 or
Sakit
3
na ni Jong, oh.
attempts, it was Big J. But it's very clear they need Big J.
Yeah.
They need him in the fight.
They need him. Either
Hindi, Pakito ano nga eh,
kinda
Pakito.
wondering exactly how do you execute that King's Calling? Where's the best use of it? And honestly, like we saw
Ito sa
minutes ago,
Imitake.
it's on a surprise
Kaso,
factor. It's not
na-lurking
like the
ganun
big
eh.
target of okay, fight us here. They kind of have to catch him out as a surprise. So we'll see how they play around it. But Omega having this small lead for them. Of course, they're just going to be juggling items around at this point as well. So now they get geared up for a possible Lord dance. But right now, we're at a stalemate here, gentlemen.
And good management of the minion waves here by TNC Pro team. So Jome's gonna have to show himself in the map. Something that he hasn't been doing a lot in this game. Like, yes, we know he's like the gold laner. He's not a traditional marksman. But this has been a low-key Mincetar. Because a lot of the damage being dished out by Omega is coming from that Roger, from that Novaria.
Hell, even the Barats.
Yeah, even the Baras. So Jome is sort of playing a more reserved type of game here. He's really just, all right, I'll clean up the minion waves. I'll show up if needed. Oh, that's big!
Flicker going to be used. They want Goyo here.
Pinasakto
Winter
yun, ah.
Truncheon going to be used. Into the King's Calling. Eternal Guard going to be dropped as well.
Wow.
There's the immortality, and here's the answer from the backside. Goyo's finally going to fall. And now they have to deal with Nomad. Bobbin Weaver with his Zaman Force. Chaknu could be in trouble. Has the immortality.
Ganda
Joe
nung
taken
ano,
down. Rises.
pagsakit.
Immortality going to be popped. And Nono gets cut off as well. TNC
Talagang ganda bagsak
answers
ng Matilda
back.
sa Mincetar,
They only
sakto
lost
sa bigsahan eh.
Goyo. But man, did it cost Smart Omega.
Demon in reverse, walking in with a clothesline from hell.
Ako binaban ko nga
I thought he could have sworn he was gonna get away. Like, oh,
Binaban ko nga na ano eh. Di ba last season nabap yun?
Surprise! Hey, at least Omega got 2 kills.
Last
The
season,
Vixana
nabap
and
yun
the
eh.
Eternal Guard.
Binaban ko
Right
yun.
now, TNC looking to cap out the game here. No one. Smart Omega down 2 members. Are they going to be
Kaya nga nakabahay tayo nga.
they got
Yoda
waves from bottom of
Nakapag-Winter
mid.
Truncheon eh.
trying to deal with it here. The 1-2 punch coming out from Heads. Clearing it down. Echo going to be dropped. Fraser's Wrath going to be used
Tagal
as
naman
well.
ng
Jack
first
trying to
game
keep the
nito.
lane there, but the Dominant Force is just too much. And now the base is going to be worked on as TNC takes game 1.
Losing grip mid to late and eventually clawing their way back into a winning position. TNC taking the first game in this best of 3. Amazing work.
That went for almost 25 minutes. We saw that game. Congratulations, TNC, for getting that game won. It was crappy, it was messy, but damn, I will admit I enjoyed seeing all of it.
Man, that was like a UFC bout in the modern age.
Yeah.
In the modern age?
Yeah. Earlier UFC fights ended in like 10 seconds, bro.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So this one was like just a 5-round, 5-minute championship bout for the welterweight belt, man. That was good. I like that.
Kulang nga sa damage sila. Tsaka yung Mincetar lang din damage sila.
MLBB without the inhibitions. Because you know the pro scene inhibitions, like, all right, in terms of the minion wave, is it good? Is our positioning all right? Battle spells, you know, so many things to calculate. These two were literally just like, let's fight. Let's go. Hey, we can get the Lord. No, let's get that Harris.
That's what it felt like. And I don't know, maybe there was like some hope there if the game went on where we see that Vic J participate in those fights and win things, but man, Nomad was tough to deal with here.
Yep. Game MVP for game 1, the Harith. It's Demon in reverse.
Is that because he's a cat?
He was, yeah.
I mean, he's a Leonin.
He's a Leonin.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so Harith, he has ears. Yeah.
Castle.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
5-3-5 for Nomad's Harith here. And for TNC Pro Team, with the lead that they built up for themselves, they themselves were a castle that Omega had to siege, break through, try to find a way to pierce through all of the defenses that TNC had, not in terms of defending from the siege, but like breaking the lead. And eventually Omega breaking the lead came from the fact that they got to take TNC out surprise. But we saw multiple times, but TNC, if they weren't surprised, if they were fighting the team fights that they wanted, then it's going to be going good for them. Again, Omega's lineup counters dashes, sets up for what was the question multiple times. We saw there, once Omega got a surprise team fight,
Bukas na natin ulit.
TNC in a situation where they're fighting
Oo.
uncomfortably,
I-ano ko na po,
then there's
i-end ko na yung ano.
chance
GG's na muna
that
guys.
Omega will
End ko
win
na
the
muna
fight,
yung
which
stream.
They did.
May ano lang, may kailangan lang
teams,
bilhin sa ano.
especially this one.
Sa
So
palengke.
many things spent
Punta ako, ano,
just to take a Vexana
lalabas ako.
down. The Vexana is problematic for the lineup of Omega.
Bukas ulit,
It's not
bukas.
your main
Bukas
prize
ulit,
that you're
Jerome.
looking for here. While for
bukas
TNC
ulit,
Pro
bukas
Team,
ulit.
they just played around the Harith.
Basta, ano wait mo na lang yun
Force, and they kept their lineup and their
Hindi na
team
kita,
fight.
hindi na kita
It was
isasama sa
simpler
mga
to pull off the
ano
lineup
sa.
of TNC Pro Team. More in tune with the current
Wait mo na lang yan.
was the lineup of TNC Pro Team. While for
Bukas
the
na lang ulit, ha?
you
Bukas
can't
na lang
knock
ulit,
what they
guys.
wanted to do here. What they wanted to try was something theoretically plausible. Mincetar,
End ko
counter
na, end.
dashes.
Salamat.
Harith, lots of dashes. Lineup of TNC Pro Team, lots of dashes. So it could potentially work, which as the game went on, we sort of saw shit.